Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello, this is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Show number 512.
I don't know why I did that. Show number 512 of A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Daniel.
I'm Thomas Vann.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to the show.
So formal.
Today's first topic, Roger Stone. Let's get into it. Will he or will he not adhere to the gag order that the judge put in place? Tom, what say you?
I honestly don't even know what he was charged with. I think has his trial already happened?
No, the trial's in
Okay.
November.
Oh, okay, yeah. What is he
No,
charged
we are
for?
not going to talk about that.
I
I
don't know.
I am mildly politically obsessed with him though, and his glasses, the goofy glasses he wears. He wears round, black, like Charlie Brown glasses.
Yeah.
And I like
Harry
it.
Potter.
Yeah, they're very Harry Potter. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Nothing political at all. No sides whatsoever. I just think it's funny if if me and Daniel were involved in some shit and then everybody around us is going to jail and then we're like, hey, we had nothing to do with it. We're like, whoa, hold on.
Like somebody
bus
flying,
anchor's going to
flying
jail.
out to England to,
like Kramer's going to jail. And I'm like, hey, we didn't do nothing. And I'm like, well, everybody around you is going to jail. Something.
We should do a free Tom and Dan shirt. Should we do the shot? Let's do the shot now and just get out of the way.
All
And then
right. Okay.
after we do the shot, then we'll plug and then we'll dig in.
We got an interesting thing to cheers today. I just found out this morning. This is how little we know about like dates and I'm the worst.
This one I kind of knew, but I didn't.
Oh, you did?
I was
Okay.
going to kind of adhere to the Tom and Dan Day deal that the mayor gave us a while back.
Oh, okay.
But this is not that.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. Okay. Oh yeah. That's me do the.
this is a thing now.
Are we going off to Revolutionary War?
I did this for Butler.
Oh, I thought he was doing something.
Why aren't you doing the fucking toast, you fucking idiot? God, hold on. It's everything.
Well,
ruined.
to be fair,
Show is
Tom
fucking ruined.
was talking as if he was going to announce what we're celebrating, but then he stopped.
Well, I was gonna wait. I was
He
Butler
always stops, though. When is the last time he's ever started a sentence and finished it?
You're right.
Yeah, I was. Butler was gonna do the toast, and then I was gonna say, "Here's to."
Okay,
what
okay,
I was
okay.
All right, here.
You didn't
One
set it up,
cruise and
though.
the show's fucking terrible already.
All right, in celebration of St. Patrick's Day,
my God.
here's to you and here's to me, but cheers to the birds and lick us where we pee. Happy fucking St. Patrick's Day. Rock and roll 90210.
All right. All right. Good Irish accent.
Well,
you bad.
said it. It's just close enough. Let me get mine here.
Yeah. So
Here we go. Cheers to you guys.
Ooh. I like
Good.
it.
That was good.
Tasty.
Writer's Tears, copper pot, Irish whiskey.
Well, that's good. That's good.
It
Compliments
burns
of,
at the end.
That's good. Oh, man. It burned out the end on the cruise.
Compliments to Dan Paul. Thank you very much.
Is it me or are all shits on cruise ships stickier?
oh yeah.
Little sticky.
What do they put in that food?
And then you flush your toilet, which is an astronaut toilet. By the way, you can't flush that while your kid's sleeping.
Was I the only one that went to the bathroom in the gym?
I never even went to the gym.
Why'd you go to the gym?
Well, I was
Is that
thinking-
where you found the hat that would regrow your hair, and then you sent me a picture
Yeah,
of it?
which
We need to buy one of these hats and then send it to the old Jim Colbert show and start a radio war. And they're like, put this on, you piece of shit. Wear this hat, grow your hair.
Oh, real quick.
Fuck you.
So this morning, EJ texted me. He's like, "Happy 10 years," and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? What do you mean? He's like, March 15th, 2009 is when you did your first ever podcast.
Yeah, today is the day.
And
nice.
so it's
Today is
literally been
actually our 10-year anniversary today.
yeah, and
more
so
shots.
and I know
Yeah.
we've done our 500 year or 500
500 years. Welcome back to Vampire Podcast. This is our 500th year.
500th show
Blah, blah, blah.
anniversary and stuff. So it all gets muddled together. But
My favorite moment was when you were sucking the neck of that girl in New Orleans.
She had frog pajamas.
And real quick, let me plug. We're doing a little bit of a merch blowout starting today. So we got a bunch of our shirts for $10. We're gonna come out with some brand new shirts in spring, a whole bunch of new stuff. So we're trying to get rid of the old stuff. So
See, you shouldn't have said it like that. You should have been like 10 years of podcasting, $10 T-shirts.
No,
Yeah.
shit!
Come on.
Hold on, rewind. Get your toast ready again. Pour more shots.
You're like,
we're
we're trying
doing
to
it
get
again.
rid of some old stuff. Let's not sound
Yeah,
like that.
and you also didn't say on behalf of the thing,
I don't
like
know.
on the
I
10-year
don't know.
anniversary. You also said these are old shirts nobody wanted, so we're discounting them to 10 because nobody fucking wants them. You probably don't want them anyway.
In honor of 10 years, we got $10 shirts for sale right now.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
I feel like I kind of already ruined it.
The guy who runs our business is a fucking idiot.
Gonna celebrate.
Just tell them that they're going to be $5 in
The
a week.
producer just told him $10 shirt idea. It's a better idea. He didn't have an idea at all.
Oh, man, you don't know how
The
true
other
that
guy,
is.
he edits and he is really small. Come on now.
So we
Thank you, Sam.
this is our first official Friday Free Show after the cruise, and we're all back
Oh, buddy.
alive. Nobody got arrested. Nobody died.
so.
No, it's all good. This is good stuff.
Nobody in our crew got arrested.
Yeah.
There was a lady that got taken off in handcuffs, but she wasn't with us.
No, really.
Oh,
For what?
Ryan
I don't
Cabrera?
know. No, it wasn't Ryan Cabrera.
Oh, by the way, we witnessed
Oh.
the apparently. So what we pieced together is that some probably scammy, dude that was like a promoter or like in the
Well, I
industry
looked
of
up his
cruises.
website. I won't say it, but let's just say he has a legitimate, like, sort of. Be careful. I said
Is he does the
travel? He's like
Okay.
a scammy Tony.
No, okay.
He's scammy, right?
Yeah.
That would be fair enough. He's scammy Tony. Like,
Yeah.
whereas Tony has Ahoy Cruises and he does a great job and he can book you a cruise. And if you're in the market, Tony's a great guy. Tony and Deb will take care of you, guaranteed.
But this is Tony Grift.
This is dark Tony.
Tony Griftalata.
Yeah, this is Tony Griftalata.
Yeah. So apparently,
Toby.
the beginning of what they started promoting was, and I saw Tony's, our Tony Palmiotti's, he put their original cruise banner and then crossed out everything that didn't happen. They put the wrong ship on the banner too. But
Yeah, it was all fucked up.
So originally they were going to be like Ryan Cabrera. It was a Ryan Cabrera cruise with friends, Nick Swartzen, Aaron Carter.
Dude, the original lineup was actually pretty decent. If you're into like early 2000s pop music, it would be a very fun cruise to
Like,
go on.
who else, though?
They're just up and comers, like, but that same style of, like, not boy band, but like Ryan Cabrera,
It's like pop rock.
Those are the only-
BB Mac. I'm trying to
BB
think.
Mac was on the.
No, but I'm just saying that style of music. You know, like who's the guy that sings "I'm Yours"? Jason Mraz, like that kind of
pop rock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was
pop
other guests. I didn't know their names, but I guess they had, there were celebrities. I'll put that in quotes. But
Well, Nick Swartzen was really the only one
yeah,
anyone
Nick
cared
Swartzen is
about.
a big deal, comedian wise. But anyway, so right before the cruise, we didn't get to talk about this. Tony calls me and he's like, hey, their promoter called me and said like, hey,
Toby called Tony.
if you want to have your group come to our events, you're welcome. You could offer to your group to come. And Tony thought that was weird. He was like, that's kind of weird. Like, why last minute is he issuing this invite?
Also, let me point out that this gentleman, unlike Tony, to his credit, and we bitch about this because Tom and I like to fly by the seat of our pants. We're a little disorganized. But Tony will book the Epic Theater on the Norwegian Epic 17 years in advance. So he ensures that we can do a show at 3 p.m. in a reasonable time so everybody not only can see the show, but also make their dinner reservations, make their make the
other
shows.
activities.
He's very,
Or
very
good times, yeah.
He and Deb work very hard, and they have to book that shit like way in advance. This gentleman, who
Yeah.
I will refer to as Toby, not Tony,
He did not
Toby
do that.
booked it at like every
Everything was at midnight.
Everything was at midnight because that's the only time that they waited to the last minute and they got fucked.
Well, it's just one guy, and then I'm sure I didn't get to meet him on the cruise. Some of our listeners did, but Ryan Cabrera had nothing. He was very nice. There's an organizer that probably told him one thing, and then all of a sudden he showed up.
We met him. My wife took a picture with him. Very nice. He's very, very nice.
So
handsome,
apparently,
very handsome.
He's held up well.
I'd suck his dick.
I
would.
They only had 50 people on the cruise, which probably is the reason why.
I feel like I could get 50 people on a cruise.
For a bungalow or
Just
the bus
me.
and Sunny Orange Productions?
All those things.
I
and
guarantee you could get 50 people on the boat.
After being on our cruise, Bus Decker's head has blown up a million times.
Yeah.
He's turning. He's making that turn.
Yeah. He immediately changed the name of his company to Sunny Orange Empire, and then he claimed that two Nigerian men beat him up in a hallway. And then he said, he was a gay Tupac. That's what Smollett said. Did you see that?
He was gay Tupac?
You didn't see that video?
No.
He was on stage, not to tangent, we're tangenting, but he's on stage like a couple nights after the interview or the arrest of the guys or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, so the guy hit me. Remember, it was a big deal for him to say, so I hit that motherfucker back. Like he was like saying, because that's like me telling a story to Tom about me being beat up, and I'm like, I got a couple of good licks in.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're on the floor, they're kicking your flanks.
And then he proceeded to say, I'm gay Tupac. Because he stuck up for himself. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar.
Oh, imagine how bad he feels in jail right now.
Imagine how insulted real Tupac was in heaven.
So, anyway, there's only
apparently only 38 people actually showed up, according to Tony.
Oh, to the cruise?
Yeah,
I love it.
He
I
said
love
the
that
high
Tony.
number was 50, final count was 38.
It's like us in radio wars and podcasting wars and stuff like that. Like how we keep our hands on everything. I love how Tony is so into cruising that he's like, I'm gonna go to this shit and I'm gonna see how many fucking people really show up. 38, not 50. Liar!
I went to that magic show and there may have been 5 people with them and everybody else was with Tom and Dan.
I was there. I was at that magic show.
Oh yeah, you were sitting up in the balcony with me.
I saw pictures of you guys at the magic show, and my first thought of watching you guys watch the Ryan Cabrera cruise magic show was that you were being disrespectful, and I loved every minute of it because you guys were all the picture of them sitting in the back. It's like, look at the peanut gallery.
That magician was a dickhead. He was making misogynistic jokes to women, and I'm like, you realize that everybody here is not here for you. We came here because we had nothing else to do, and now we wish we would have never came.
Hey, welcome to the magic show. Watch me make your nipples disappear in my mouth. Oh,
you dickhead.
I
Let me grab your pussy.
So hard at that magic show.
Not
because of the show, just everybody that we were with.
Else,
I was laughing so hard.
Oh, Tony's saying that Simone, who I'd name, what did I name her? Like Tits McClanahan or something?
Yeah.
So she was doing her patented screaming.
But she ended up falling asleep. I saw her.
I wish I could have watched
there
that.
There were 4 people that fell asleep during that magic
Dude, there's
show.
nothing I love more than a wound up drunk Simone. That'll make your cruise. That's so fun. Fun.
I did feel bad for Cabrera because he probably.
I felt a little bad for him.
You should feel bad for him. He was very nice.
Something
very
totally different. And then anyway, so that was a shit show. But our cruise was great. Thanks to Tony.
This
and
is
all
my
our
favorite
sponsors.
cruise.
Really?
2 words: child care. For those of you thinking on going on the 2020, I'm going to do a commercial with Maisie, and I'm going to ask her questions about how much fun she had. Man, the kids club, or excuse me, Splash Academy, was very good on this boat, and I actually had the opportunity to pump my wife a little bit.
All right.
So hats off to that.
So there's one thing that happened that is fucking insane that it happened, and like every once in a while things happen to me, and I'm like, man, if I wasn't such a skeptic, I would probably believe in supernatural things, because they're like, what are the chances this happened? Like it's beyond like me even trying to figure it out. Like it's impossible.
Well, kind of like today, like we were having a rough day. We're doing some stuff behind the scenes. We're every day for a small business has the potential to be a rough day. But the fact that today just happened to land on hey, it's our 10-year anniversary. You know what I mean? Like little things like that happen to us all the time.
But so everybody knows about OLE and Dan Cummins and that happened. Now,
man, you're going to talk about this?
That was more of our fault and the speaker system.
Dude, by putting this out in the universe, you realize you're perpetuating it.
So then the second instance with audio happened on Dan Cummins' Time Suck podcast that we did live at the Orlando Improv.
Oh,
and
God, I forgot
by the
about
way,
that.
yeah.
By the way, he's coming back in August to do another live Time Suck at Orlando Improv. Guess who's not a special guest? I'm throwing it out there. I saw it on the Improv website. I was doing research this morning. I said live Time Suck. I'm like, doesn't say special guest Tom and Dan.
I'm sure he probably just now he feels bad because these things keep happening. So anyway, that and we've done like live podcasts at the Improv before, and Daniel set up his equipment just like we did the last time, and something happened where the audio engineer hit some sort of button or switched some sort of channel, and then we lost the audio on that. So
Well, I know how to do it. Did you hear the live show? Like here. I mean, this is the live show from the boat.
Yeah, it sounds great.
I mean, this shit sounds like...
This is for BDMs, by the way, if you want to hear it, which I got another...
You wanted the best.
Okay, that's all I'll give you. But, you know...
So then our favorite event on the cruise, we do this thing called Mediocre Idol, which is basically karaoke, but me, Daniel, Samantha, we had Busdecker as a guest judge. We basically sit up there like American Idol, and then people perform their karaoke songs, and we make fun of them lightly. And, and then we picked 3 winners. And it's a fun event every year. Every year we've done it, it's gone off without a hitch, and everybody has a good time.
It's my favorite event of the cruise.
And this year, now, I will say, we knew there was an audio problem right at the beginning because
your mic was being a little weird.
Yeah, when I first started, like they gave us 2 mics, one for me and one for Daniel. My mic was so overmodulated and weird, so I was like, they're fixing. They gave me a hardwired mic or whatever. Then we noticed like there were some people, they started to sing, and then one channel would go off, and then only one side of the room would then the person couldn't hear themselves.
It started with Wade. Like he went up there, he's doing Elvis, and it was he kept turning to me and saying, I can't hear the music.
Yeah.
But
the PA wasn't
But there was really nothing I could do at that point. Like I'm not in front of the
Also, the guy running the audio booth was a dickhead.
Well,
Remember, he started getting snappy with Dan.
Yeah. I don't think
he didn't
it was a
understand
normal.
he didn't know how high I was and how it doesn't matter if you get dickheady with me when I'm high. I don't care.
So
we're like, we can't hear the music. He's like, I'm trying to fix now. Like, all right.
God, easy, caveman.
But it was Dan Cummins who got up and sang that
That's when it started.
In the middle of a song, the audio cut out, and I'm like, no, it can't be happening. Then I was like, at first I thought for a second that like Tony did this on purpose just to do the joke because
no, he wouldn't. It's not his style.
No,
That's not Tony's
it wasn't.
style.
But I was like, well, there's no way this could be happening again.
I would do that to kind of fuck with everybody and take it too far, but Tony would not.
So long story short,
the maddest I've ever seen Tony.
He was mad.
Mad.
There was
I felt bad for him.
Like an amp, like some BDM was an audio engineer, and he's like, it sounds like an amp fan went out and it was heating up and then just cutting off half of the speaker system.
That's accurate.
Or
something was overheating and then dying, and then it would cool off and then kick back in.
Yeah, or
He's right.
Either that or they fucked up. Whatever happened, we had to cancel the event in the middle of it. I was soon after Dan Cummins because
I put that on me because I didn't have to do that, but like people were standing around and like we kept doing it, and it kept going out, and I'm like, fuck it, we're calling it. Then at least we can go outside on the pool deck where it's nice, have some beers and hang out.
But what are the fucking chances? All I'm saying is that Dan Cummins comes on this cruise. We have an audio problem with the fucking... Now, this is $1 billion ship, and the audio system, they do karaoke in there every single night.
Yeah.
And it's a $100,000
But the problem there
is
when you do it at, like, let's say 3, you're getting, Javier, the intern in the entertainment department that doesn't normally do it when DJ Disco Dan is there. But because DJ Disco Dan does it every night.
Yeah.
He knows, that's the amp that goes out. You need to switch it to, put it on, pot number 6 or channel 6.
But there's no way
It'll
for
be
us,
fine there.
If it was actual error by the person running it, or it was just a random fluke amp that went out, we have no way of knowing now.
Somebody should have been there to fix it.
I agree on
that.
They
should have known how to fix that problem.
Yeah.
Tactical Hat in the chat room is right. It was immediately after, Tom, you made the comment about the OLE koozie that somebody had.
Yeah.
No, that was
literally
the guy.
next song, the audio started
did he
fucking
sing?
up.
He sang Friends in Low Place.
Yeah, that guy was good.
I told him afterwards.
He
We were
was
having beers
good.
afterwards. He was my first place choice.
Oh,
I thought
absolutely.
he did fantastic.
But
Yeah.
he had the koozie. It's the koozie that says
Bobby
Tom,
Kelly,
Dan, and Dan that we gave out at the
And
OLE.
you said extra points for the OLE koozie. Literally the
Yeah, yeah.
next song, that's when all the audio went to
Yeah.
shit.
Listen,
And then people started coming up to me because I had canceled the event. And they're like, and some drunk girl comes up. She's like, I've never won anything. I want to steal a trophy. I was like, here, take one. You're third place.
and
I
there's
just started handing shit out. Let them eat cake. That's what I said.
And we told a lot of the stories on the BDM show this week, and so you can go back and of course we told stories at the live podcast we did. That's on the BDM show this week. So if you're a BDM, you can hear that. But we have some stories that we didn't tell, including Butler actually broke his
This
toilet
motherfucker.
every day of the cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke it 4 times.
And then at one point in time,
He kept sucking his big British dick down there. He's like,
the person that was fixing your toilet, you were in the room, and there was like because there was kind of a curtain that you can
No, there's like a hatch on the outside in the hallway that they can actually open up and reach into your septic systems. They don't actually have to be in the
room. Okay.
while they fix it. So it was
Oh my God.
like that.
There it is.
Well, that sound indicated to me that hey, I could put my wet wipes down there. This thing
No.
has jet power.
no.
Well,
and
you
there's
know,
a big sign that says "Do not
Exactly.
put sanitary
Probably
napkins."
you're an asshole.
Yeah.
well, I tested it. I like the scientific method. I had a hypothesis. I had to trial it out, and well, apparently I was wrong. Very wrong. Yes, exactly. Like this.
What'd you have? What are your wet wipes for? What are you, a baby?
I know. I'm with you, Buzzsucker. I don't use that shit.
Full transparency. I have been waiting for you to tell the story because I used wet wipes. I used wet wipes as well, and I did not break my toilet.
Did you flush them?
No, I put them on my head. Yeah, I flushed them.
I mean, there's a trash can in there.
No,
Ooh.
that's what Spanish people do.
I mean, you're not supposed to flush them.
That's
so
what Spanish. You know that.
In
Spanish-
South America, because their plumbing's fucked up.
Yeah,
That's
they
true.
wipe and then they put it in the trash can. I'm not
right, and the plumbing on a cruise is not sufficient.
There's
enough
nothing
to flush
sadder
these.
than wiping your ass and then like looking over the trash can and then sticking your own doo-doo into like a baked beans can that just happens to be like, I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm not fucking doing
So
it.
after the first time you broke it, you continued to flush them?
Well, the first time it broke, and then I was like, hey man, there's something going on. And he actually, my housemaid, whatever the hell his name is, Javier, he went
They're
by.
not, they're called room attendants, I believe, not housemaids.
Yeah.
Well,
my
he-
slave for the week.
My God.
He came by and then he's like, "Oh no, you just got to push the button really hard." And he's like, "You just got to stick your finger in real hard." And I was like, "Ooh." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Let me give this a try." It worked, fantastic. Next day, I go to use it, and it's really not flushing all that great. I just I stopped using the wet wipes at that point because everybody yelled at me. So then I continued to poop in it. And it raised to the top of the lip of the bowl. All the way to the top. And so I just left it, and then I came back, and then the guy must have found it and fixed it. Like, so I was like, sweet, done deal. Rinse and repeat. The next day, I was
Rinse
like,
and repeat.
I do
Poor
it again.
Javier.
But this next day, like, although I got sick, and so that was the day of the live podcast, and so I left, and I had to go throw up and poop, and so always do this. Never pooped and throw up. Always a bad move. And so I had to go do that. And then at that point, rose to the surface again. So obviously my previous
I
wet
think your
wipes were
toilet
causing
was
a
just
problem.
fucked up. It wasn't the wet wipes at all.
Now, is it true?
Because I flushed all of mine, they'd go straight
How many
down.
do you use? I'm a minimum of 2 to 4.
Okay, here's what I
You're
do.
in the fancy room.
But yeah, you're the
though.
top, and the shit literally rolls downhill,
Yeah.
and it was clogging up all the pour
Oh, my
room.
God.
We got Butler in
Oh,
the
you like
engine
me?
room.
Yeah, I'm pooping in the gym.
Save some money.
So here's what I do, and you guys tell me if you do that. When I wipe, I use regular paper first, and I do a swipe, and then I look, and then I fold over what I've already. Do you guys do that?
Sometimes.
And then I fold over what's already been wiped, and then I wipe again. Now, my dad would have disagreed. He
Fresh
was
wipe every time.
Yeah, my dad was fresh toilet paper every time. And I'm a wipe and then fold over, wipe. Then a smaller piece of toilet paper. Then I wipe. If I have the room, then I fold over, wipe. Then I get 2 wet wipes out. I do one for the wetness, and then I do a second one as a pass to make sure that it's not still coming out.
I'm wet, dry.
Oh, wait, you do dry after wet?
Yes, gotta dry.
dry it
No,
out.
then you're going to shred the toilet paper. You're an idiot.
Is
You're an
it-
idiot.
Is it true that the guy was fixing it in the hall, and you could hear him audibly gagging?
It was like, yeah, because it sounded like that. It was like, and I heard these horrible noises coming from my toilet, and then he was like,
That
is embarrassing.
Deal with your buffet shit.
Horrible. It was just bad. And then there was like butt remnants on like the outside.
No.
Come on.
I swear to God, there was like toilet paper on the outside because he must have had to like have like some sort of vacuum to suck it out.
Come
It
on.
was
No.
yeah, it was bad.
So, did you leave him a tip at the end of the week?
No.
Yeah, I palmed him 20 and
Oh, hey. All right.
So
Nice.
hey man, he did a good job.
I'd have fixed it for $20.
is
Next time I'll call you.
now what's the story, Butler, about the prostitute soliciting you on an ATV?
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
Where the fuck did
It's
you get
on the
that?
notes.
All right.
Okay.
I don't read the notes.
So Jordan and I, my little brother, little Butler, we were actually running down the beach and trying to go to like the most obscure locations, as safe as possible, but not being ridiculous. And so we
In
ended
Nassau.
in Nassau. So we ended up catching up
Wait,
with
you're
Paul
just
Williams.
running down the beach like,
Just full speed. No. We're just kind of walking around, checking out everything. So we got out there early before everything had opened. And so we see Paul Williams kind of cruising down the street, and he's in a side by side. He's like, "Jump in!" So we just jump in the back of his ATV.
he rented one of the
Yeah,
side,
it was
dude.
awesome.
I would have. I wanted to do that.
$250 for the whole day.
Andrea and I saw those, and she just because of the baby with us, I'm like, nah, it's fine. These things are indestructible. And,
Crazy
I needed
fucking
you there
dangerous.
for the hard sell, but Tom was. This guy was on the beach so relaxed. I thought you were fall asleep.
Also, you're riding on the opposite side of the road in Nassau, so it's a sketchy. There's no real traffic laws.
None at all.
It's the most dangerous thing. Renting anything to drive in Nassau is the way to die. Like, you can go and walk into the most dangerous part. You have more chance of dying on a scooter.
There's a guy in
or
the chat room that
side-by-side.
says they put stool softener in all the food on cruise ships.
No.
So that it doesn't clog their plumbing.
That's what Sean of the Seas is saying, and based on his name, I believe him.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah,
Didn't work.
there's science behind it.
So we're going through right where the port is, right where you actually get off the cruise ship, and everybody kind of disembarks and goes their own separate way. Some guy jumps on the back of our on our side by side, and he starts asking, he's like, "Hey, you guys want some pussy? I'll get you some pussy." He's like, "Hey, I'll get you all fucking laid," and like, we're like, all right, that's fine. We had a
Just a random
dude, big old gold
Bahamian
chain,
solicitor.
yeah,
Bahamian pussy pimp.
yeah. And so he's just barking at us, trying to get us all pussy, and we tell him get the fuck off. But he's actually holding on to our like side by side as we're cruising, going like 15 miles an hour, just like hanging on the back. And everything, like, get the fuck off, bro.
Oh, he's
Like,
giving
I
you a
don't want
pitch
any.
while he's riding on the back.
Yes.
Okay.
Aggressive as fuck.
And then where did you guys go? Where did Paul go on the side by side?
They went all over the island. They did They went over to Atlantis. They went to the other side.
Do you park the side? Where do you park it?
You don't get out. No, you don't get out.
Yeah, because I was gonna say,
don't stop
like,
moving.
the minute you park it, it's stolen.
yeah, it's gone. Yeah, absolutely.
And who's the old man you saved in the bushes?
Oh, that was
that was
here.
here.
Oh, that was here.
Yeah, that was here.
Where-
We were walking to Publix. He saw this old man who barely had enough
I felt
leg
so
power
bad.
to pedal his. He could barely pedal his bike, and he was trying so hard, and he went like whoa, 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 and then he just fell over into the bushes, like ooh.
And then he just
He couldn't get out.
Yeah,
He couldn't get up.
He couldn't get. He didn't have enough strength to
And
push
Butler
himself.
dashes across the
Yeah.
fucking street like a goddamn superhero.
Yeah.
Hey, man. You know,
and then you pulled them out. And,
pulled him out of the bushes. Pulled him out of the darkness.
And he's like, hey,
Brought him back to life.
He's like, that turn was a little steep there. You know, we're like, no, you're just old
And
as
I was
fuck.
like, are
You
you
know, like,
okay? And he's like,
I don't know.
I think so. And I'm like, I feel like we should watch this man.
you know what? I
Was it
felt
a
like we
regular
should
bike or a
kill him.
tricycle bike?
I
That's
feel
a
like
regular
regular.
bike.
I think we needed to put him out of his misery. Like when I looked at him, like he had no business being alive.
he's
Should've
just
Like
kicked
to
him.
me, when we asked him, "Are you all right?" and he's like, "I think so," and we're like, "Well, your body has lost
Given up,
its
yeah.
ability to tell you that you're in pain.
Peanut butter shotgun.
So you're
time.
shutting down.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna go get my car, and
If
I
this
want you
the-
just lay your head right here. I'm just gonna back over you, and then we'll dispose of you. We'll, I don't know. We'll
We're in
figure
Baldwin
out.
Park. They'll take care of
Yeah,
it.
I'll just put you in the recycle bin.
this is the old west.
Yeah.
It'd be a 6-shooter.
Yeah, this guy,
done.
like he literally,
Like a
he's probably
horse.
dead now.
Oh.
That's how bad it was.
It was, it was sad.
It-
we do have a caller on line 1.
Who do we have? Who do we have?
Josh.
Hey, Josh, what's shaking, buddy?
Hey guys, how's everybody doing today?
Good, man. What's on your mind?
Oh, well, I just I've been going through the backlogs of Tom and Dan, and really loved the whole Tom doing the pee-pee in the corner at the other place. But so I took a page out of that book. My job has been going kind of sour, and so I'm going pee-pee in the corner at my workplace.
All right, that's
I think we can all applaud that.
And now
When your job gets to a point where you hate it so much, one of the best things you can do is one squirt of pee-pee in the corner of the room.
It'll make you feel that.
It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does a lot for your psyche.
Yeah.
Wait, are you just standing there peeing? Like out in the open?
Yeah.
We just
you
walk
hold
by
your dick,
and
you just.
Why not like pee in a cup and then just pour the,
No.
the pee
Oh,
everywhere?
you're an animal.
Tell him.
Well, hold on.
Tell him.
It's actually a work truck.
Oh, okay.
Peeing in the work truck.
Is it your own work truck? Because I feel like you're hurting yourself more.
No. It's the boss man's work truck. He makes me take that one home at the end of the day to unload all the equipment. So he passes the keys to me at the very end of the day, and he's been a real asshole dickhead lately, and I'm looking for a place to go, and I figured, I'm definitely not sticking around, so I lift the floor mat a little bit. He's got nice heavy plastic floor mats, and I get done with the day. You got to pee, so I hop out of the work truck and just take a little pee-pee in the truck.
Monster mats or WeatherTech mats will actually hold the moisture under there. I do have a problem with this. I'll have to defer to the actual king of doing this, which is Tom Vann. He invented this technique. I do still sort of feel like you're hurting yourself a little bit because you still have to ride in a piss truck.
Well, this is the boss man's truck.
No, but he still has to take it home at the end of the day.
Ah.
He's
But it's his pee, not
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
his pee.
I still don't want to ride in my own pee.
Yeah. It's just, here's the thing: the weather. It's a work truck. You probably never notice a little bit of pee. It's not,
Oh, you noticed. I'm alcoholic crazy. It smells like boozy piss in there all day, every day.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes you feel
He's
better,
just
right?
marinating in it. Oh, I feel so much better.
I mean, if you want
I'm
to,
still making decent money.
if you want to take it up a notch, since you are,
Always.
do you take this thing home?
No, it stays at the shop.
I mean, I would take it home, windows up, park it for the night. I'd piss all over the steering wheel. I'd piss all over the dash.
At one
Piss
point,
in the
this is
CD player.
This is a crime.
And then I would drive to work wearing mittens.
This can be considered a crime.
He has his gloves in the truck, and I may have turned them inside out and wiped them down a little bit.
Wait, what's the crime?
But he's being a
It's like
It's like a vandalism.
remember the guy that
Yeah.
that peed in his boss's coffee and they found him on the surveillance camera
Yeah.
and shit like that.
Right.
You
You
got
get
arrested
diseases
like,
from that, right?
Yeah. It's kind of it's just a form of assault.
Which
now, I
would
don't
you
know about
rather
pee-peeing
do?
in the truck.
What if you
would you-
pee yourself in the? What if you just wet yourself in the truck?
I thought about doing that if I ever got fired. Back when I
just
worked with
sit
Big
here
Channel, like if they were firing me, I just started releasing my bowels because it's the only because they technically they can't prove that it's, have a medical problem at that point. But it's just like they'll have to bring in their assistant and they clean it. And
Could you do that though? Do you think you could pee on command in front of somebody?
I can pee right now.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I can pee in your mouth right now.
because of
Like,
Let's
honestly.
test that theory. Can
I
we
mean,
do
like-
that on Twitch?
No, but I mean, I can do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, sir, I'm glad you learned this little tip, and it's making your life that much better. So there's something that. Well, first, let me thank everybody that came on the cruise. And
Yeah,
if you
thank
wanna,
you guys. I hope you had a good time. I had a blast.
I did.
Awesome time.
Really fun.
If you want to sign up, it's probably going to be. We're going to take a cruise break for a while. So our last cruise will be TomandDanCruise2020.com.
Leaves on 420, dude.
I know we've had a
man.
bunch of people already book, especially after this cruise. So if you're looking to book our final cruise or for the foreseeable future, Tom and Dan Cruise 2020. Also, I want to thank people because we had a weird thing happen that we just noticed. I was, going through the normal progressions of our business, and I was checking the company that holds all our BDM
Buster just laughed
subscriptions.
at you.
You
I just
motherfucker.
want to point that
I did a
out.
little bit.
I heard it and I wouldn't acknowledge it.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm well aware no one
I
takes
want
me
to know the
seriously.
normal progressions of your business.
It's always a good thing when you're like, well, I'm the president of this company, and then you hear in the background, you hear like somebody like fucking
I'm well
scoffing.
aware of it. So anyway, I was checking I like to see how's our BDMs going, and I was like, whoa, and because it'll give me a week overview of how many new signups we have, and I was like, god damn, it's way way higher than ever that I've seen. So I started it must be the cruise or what. So I started narrowing it down from when we left to when we got back, and it was like that was normal. And for whatever reason, we still can't figure it out, and it has to be because of everybody that went on the cruise and then people exposing Tom and Dan to the other people on the cruise. But on Wednesday of this past week, a couple days ago, we had 87 new BDM signups.
That's crazy.
And that's really, really high. I mean, on average, we have 4 or 5, maybe 2, something.
No, the computer program, the actual, like if you extrapolate it, it'll give you a percentage of the increase, and it's a 2,800% increase
from this time last year, from the day last year, because it always compares to see how you. But
I still think it's a fucking glitch.
I think you guys.
It's very cool.
Everybody went on the cruise, and I heard a lot of people saying, "Hey, everybody's asking me Tom and Dan. I got them to sign up and stuff." So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. If it wasn't for that, we couldn't do this. So, Last week, we talked a lot of shit about the podcast movement.
You want to take a break before we get into this?
Oh yeah. We probably
you want to
should,
stick
yeah.
to 40.
Apparently, the guy that put it on and the email heard it.
He's responded,
and they responded to us. So we'll read the email.
What
he sent
did he
us.
say? You'll have to wait till after the break.
But it always makes me awkward as fuck because I just assume that nobody that we're ever like mentioning that's outside of Tom and Dan listeners would ever hear anything that we're talking about. And the fact that he hears, I was like,
I think somebody tipped him off.
Yeah.
So he listened to the show and he heard us talking shit.
It could go one of two ways. It could be like the guy that wants to like, hey, you said you talking shit, man. Or it could be the guy who emails, and it's probably this one who's like, hey, fuck you and your dumb podcast movement. Tom and Dan say, fuck you.
Yeah. Probably
like,
was.
hey, don't do that.
He's like, what? Anyway, so he sent us an email. We'll read it because it's only fair.
Fair is fair.
Our position hasn't really changed on the podcast movement, but at least he responded, and we'll read it and to you guys, and we'll talk about some other stuff. We got news, we got mail on mail, and and some other stories.
We also have brand new music from a very, very, very popular band, the Grammy Award-winning, millions of albums sold, and I guess over 1 billion streams, the Black Keys.
Coming to town.
Yeah, coming to town. I'd like to go check them out. They have a new single called Low High. It's really good. We're going to listen to it now. I don't know why we're allowed to play it, but they reached out to us, so let's enjoy it. It's the Black Keys. You're listening to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, 1-844-TOMNDAN, or show at tomanddan.com to get in a last-minute email. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. Also, I want to tell everybody that went on the cruise, a big thank you to 360 Images, to Joe and Chris that came on, and they filmed a lot of footage. They're putting together the promo reel now of the cruise, so everybody will get to see a professionally produced video of the cruise.
Hope they got some video of me dancing.
Oh, yeah. They
did.
There.
A lot of homoerotic images.
Yeah.
Enough
gay video.
Enough to cut a separate video of Tom and Dan's big gay cruise, in which we will as well.
Here we go.
So, okay, I was explaining to Bustecker during the break about the podcast movement and what it is, and you were even saying like, well, it doesn't sound like, to me, the $380 price tag now, and then the $680 day of, if you didn't,
here's
it
the
seemed
thing.
like way too much.
Everybody defending it, including Chris Fisher, including other people that have emailed me and said, this is what I pay going to a conference. Guys, that doesn't necessarily mean you're correct. All of this shit is overpriced.
Yeah.
That's our point.
Just means you're willing to pay that.
Yeah,
We're not.
if you're stupid enough to pay podcast movement,
well, what's the right price then?
I would say you need to make it a value for what you're actually attaining. So for like the listeners, per day ticket, I'd say $50, $100 tops. But $360 and then $680 day of for what?
Well, I think the 380.
I can go to Disney for less than that.
True,
I can go to Disney and Universal same day for less than that, and I'm getting something out of that.
Well, they want you to buy it early, first off.
Yeah, but they're not. They weren't announcing any of their keynote.
Yeah, you gotta tell me what I'm gonna get.
True, no, you're right on that.
They weren't announcing any of their keynote speakers, so you want me to buy into something I don't even know what it is, and I don't want to get started on this again, but I'm just saying, all of this shit is overpriced. So if you're...
And that's our opinion.
Yeah, just you saying, though, like, oh, well, this is just what we pay. No. I'm saying across the board, all of this shit is overpriced.
What if you guys were part of the panel?
No, and then it's not.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it depends on how much we're getting.
Fine.
And this all since we're not getting anything. We're
How many people do you think attend?
I don't know.
It says on their website that they've had, they've had an upwards of 4,000 podcasters attend their event. I'm like, that's not a lot.
All right. Well, 4,000. What do you say? How much is an average?
I know 4,000 just in Orlando, so I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about.
And I will tell you that you remember last year when we started, like I told the story last week, but we were going to advertise something similar to this, and we found out the ticket was so astronomical we pulled out. But we already advertised some on social. There was a podcast from a different state that came here. It was a fantasy football podcast. They were listeners of ours. They came here for the thing, and we were like, hey, just stop by. We'll tell you, because we feel bad that you bought tickets. He sent an email to me and said, listen, I appreciate you having us out. And then he's like, the half an hour we sat with you, we learned more than going to this expo that we paid a shit ton of money for. So he's like, just based on that, he's like, I learned more from you guys than the expo itself. But whatever. Anyway, so we did give the organizer a bunch of shit, and he sent us an email.
Well, we gave him a bunch of shit because when Dan initially reached out to him, he was an asshole.
Yeah, he's a dick.
He was giving like snarky comments.
He made some comment about sticker shock. Then he made some comment about how my priorities about podcasting were, my priorities about podcasting are fucked up considering this is all I do. Fuck you. You don't even have a podcast.
Wow.
All right.
Too far.
Well, no, it's not. It's not too far. You don't even have a podcast, yet you have a podcast like convention.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well,
yeah. Everybody
he's
come.
just a convention organizer.
He invited Dan to this free event that they were having last Saturday, and Dan told him, "Oh, I'd love to go, but we're going on a listener cruise with some of our listeners." And he's like, "Oh, well, your priorities aren't correct."
He goes, I guess you must have other priorities. I'm like running my podcast business that you don't know anything about. Sure.
Now I feel bad because I assume now he's listening to this.
Don't give a fuck.
I'm joking.
So his response email: "Hey guys, I heard the latest episode. I wanted to reach out and apologize for my snarky remarks. We receive a lot of messages from a number of individuals and organizations that are usually, quote, kicking the tires. I admit that my responses, depending on the time of week and day, can reflect the attitude that you shared on the show. I don't want to make excuses. I should have been more tactful and polite.
Yes.
Please accept my apology for this.
No.
I make mistakes like anyone else, and I own this one. I appreciate the accountability and will certainly work harder to be more thoughtful in my responses to others in the future. I wish you and the community a great cruise. I hope that you will pardon my, quote, dickheadedness."
Yeah. That was,
you did say
dickheadedness.
Yeah,
so he apologized.
No, I would say, fair is fair. Apology accepted. I appreciate him reaching out. I still think it's an overpriced event, but I do wish him luck with it. I hope it goes well for him. I'm not going to wish misfortune on somebody just because I don't necessarily agree with the price point they set it at. That's not fair. That's not kind.
He'll make the money. I mean, us talking shit about it ain't going to affect
I do get heated about it. I get because I'm passionate about podcasting.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I can't speak for him. He's welcome to call the show whenever he'd like. If he wants to set up an interview time to come on and explain his point of view, I would love that. And I'll let him say whatever he wants to say with no rebuttal, because it's not fair when you start, the age-old radio technique where you have somebody call and then you just they never get their side. No, I wouldn't do that. Just let you say whatever you want to say. But I personally believe, and I'm really passionate about podcasting, one of the greatest things about podcasting, quite possibly the greatest thing about podcasting, is that anybody can do it on any type of budget.
I do it.
And but this does not fit my passion. Like, podcasting is DIY. Podcasting to me is punk rock. Podcasting is the way broadcasting should be. We've even lost some of that in becoming a business. Back when we started doing this, it was fun. So yeah, I get heated and passionate about it because I love the fact that any kid, any business owner who wants to start a podcast can get a hold of me, email me, and spending less than $500, you can get a quality sound and have a great podcast studio and be able to do something that could quite possibly change and make your business better.
Well, all the information is free on the internet, by the way.
But a lot of information is free on the internet.
Right.
But, a lot of people like to go meet people. I'm not like I said, I'm not trying to defend this
Networking,
guy.
yes.
But
No,
let's say you like
Bust's
golf.
on his side. Let's get him.
No, but let's say you like golf.
Fuck you.
But, I mean, if you liked golf and you could go for a weekend and learn how to be better at golf, would you pay $500 for
It
it?
depends on what you're offering. Are you offering
Those are
a person?
lessons almost, though,
Well,
right?
I don't know. Or maybe it's video making for me. Like, I'm trying to put it in my perspective. It was a bunch of well-produced video guys at
Would
a
you spend
conference.
$680 a ticket day
I probably
of?
wouldn't, but I'm a little farther advanced in it. If I was maybe 10 years ago,
Yeah.
all right, I'm trying to get into this whole YouTube thing.
10 years ago, I didn't have $380.
I know,
to-
but
to
you know
spend
what I
on
mean.
this.
Like I've put the 10 years in, and now I know.
The problem it's a little bit different when like learning how. And maybe there's a lot of there's a lot of information that you actually like learn the actual equipment. Like here's this and this and this. This is what you need to start. But inherently, without an audience, it doesn't matter. Well, it depends on what you want to do it. I mean, anybody could do a podcast. You have no one listening. You can't monetize it. But I think they're selling a small percentage of a dream to say like, hey, here's the ticket cost is this, and you get to learn from the best, and you too can be this. And
Yeah.
I feel like that is misinformation because it ain't gonna happen like that because to building an audience, there is no answer to that.
Yeah.
And there is no one that could tell you how to do it because it's the hardest thing to do without any sort of national name or.
Well, what does it cost to go see like Tony Robbins?
Probably close
That's
to
bullshit
that.
too.
That's-
I'll rail
that's-
that.
but all you're doing is listing things that are even more bullshit. You know, like to me, this like if call it what it is. If it's like, hey, we want to get all these podcasters in one room so we can all sit there and jack each other's podcocks.
Yeah.
Then sure, then pay that money to do it. My point is that if you really want to learn, then just find people or look up save your money. You're going to need that money to buy gear.
And we are talking, and I think a lot of the money is going to bringing in celebrities
Get your
that people
sponsors.
listen to so they can go see. So really, if the whole point is just to sit there and listen to Mark Maron talk or listen to, I doubt Corolla or Joe Rogan are going to be there, but any other like podcaster, the medium size that, talk, okay, then there it is. But if the point is to learn this secret, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like
if it's networking, then what?
It's not the positive shit is the same way.
Or
It's
shift
like,
your models so I don't have and again, this like I would say if I were putting it on, I would we're going to do this thing. Oh, it's about networking. Okay, it's 100% about networking. Well, then get enough big podcast sponsors like Rode, who just released their podcaster, their in-house like all-in-one podcasting.
Have them come talk
Shure
about their new
microphones,
products. Right.
Logitech, let's get
those companies will pay to be in front of these people because they'll
and
buy
then what
shit.
you do is you get them to underwrite the event. You make the ticket super duper small. Podcasters love you. You'll get more people because the price is lower. And there's no beef there. Then it's a really positive, cool, fun event because it's a $100 ticket. You get a lot out of it, and you're letting the big corporations that have the money do it instead of dangling the carrot and pretending that these people are going to get successful podcasts when all they're going to do, and Juan nailed it, is all you're going to do is you're going to spend $600 day of to go in and see other people that podcast better than you. That's it. That's all you're going to do.
Is there another podcast convention?
There's tons of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
They do.
This one's just convenient because it's here in
The
Orlando.
reason why is because guess what? It's become super popular and super in vogue now, and so everybody's trying to make $1 off. That's
another thing,
Fucking
too. I mean-
iHeartMedia's now. They just bought the biggest podcasting company, and now they're just pocket.
They're
Where?
actually
Oh my
going to.
God.
iHeartMedia's going to be there. 'cause
Of course
all their,
they are.
All their after parties like iHeartMedia after party, and I'm like, I don't want to go to that.
Yeah, no, I don't want to go.
Probably why the shit's so expensive. They got their fucking hand in it.
Yeah.
Greedy motherfucking corporation.
Get them.
I'm serious. That's what
your
they are.
problem.
They
you know?
don't give two fucks about anybody.
So
They
don't,
care about the dollar.
Yeah, don't sit here and tell me that this is a podcasting convention. It's not. It's a fucking money convention for you. If you want to go to the podcast convention, email me and I'll meet you up here at fucking Gators Dockside and I'll give you the binder of all the fucking tricks and little dumb shit. Get Owen in there. Owen's a really good podcaster. Swervy, Semantics. Get fucking BYOCB. Get these like
They'll give it to you for free.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you might have to buy me a beer.
Yeah, that's fine. Cheaper than $800. All right, let's. We want to do some mail on mail. Let's do some mail on mail.
don't.
And
I was not ready
I know,
for that.
we already ranted about this. And by the way, Jim Norton was on the show earlier today, and if you want to listen to that, it's already up.
It's out right now. It's also on YouTube. If you want to watch the entire video, you can watch that.
But we had a great interview with him. He's an old school talk radio guy, so it was fun. It always astonishes me, like no matter who you talk to that's been in talk radio, like as long as like we have or whatever, they all have the same fucking. They all hate the corporations, and it's the same story everywhere. I'm like, I have not found one person that has a positive thing to say about any corporate radio.
Something. I fucked up. Everybody in the chat rooms, I'm jerking my podcock. I shouldn't have said that. Now it's the new thing.
By the way, EJ wants us to go to his wife's MyCon tomorrow. He says you will not be ripped off.
How much is it, though?
$5.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
That's $600.
Okay, now you're going to get EJ talking.
It's his wife. It's completely different.
I'll go in on
He said he was going to be on a panel.
I'll go in on this one, too. He should have charged a little bit more.
Yeah.
$5 is too little.
Then you're like, oh, only $5. It can't be that good.
You
got to go down the middle.
I think he set his expectations correctly. I'm joking, EJ. God damn it. Go to
Hey guys, thanks for calling 1-800-HOT-DICK, the place to find real action with real men. To make it even better, we've got new low prices. So low, we're practically giving it away free.
If you are a man seeking a woman, press 1. If you are a woman seeking a man, press 2. If you are a man seeking a man, press 3.
Mail on mail.
Mail on mail. Brought to you by Johnny's Other Side. Next weekend, Johnny's is hosting St. Baldrick's, which is a great charity that they do every year. Johnny's been hosting it for a while, and it's next Saturday from 2 to 6, and go out there to support pediatric cancer.
I do not support pediatric cancer.
Well, I mean, support in the monetarily.
Wait, Tom, weren't you going to shave your head one year if they raised $1,000?
Don't talk about it.
Now we're trying to get Butler's head shaved.
If we get $10,000, then Yellow Brick Road will double that.
Oh.
And he'll shave every hair in his body, eyebrows, and pubes.
Nice.
So check it
You're
out.
going to donate all that to Lyle Love?
Ooh, they don't want that.
Only the pubes.
Only the pubes. Johnny's Other Side, $3 craft beers all day, every day.
At one point, I could have made a wig for a little Jew baby with my pubes.
Yeah. First, the email.
Jesus Christ. My buddy is working with Joey Fatone and Joe Mulvihill's new podcast. I don't know how to say it.
Joel Mulvihill.
Mulvihill. They think they're going to sell it to Netflix. They recorded a phone call with a mic and an iPhone on speaker under a blanket, if that tells you where they're at. Recording episode 2 tonight. Thought you'd like to know.
I sure hope he's on the panel.
Leave him alone.
More downloads than us. I support it.
Leave Fatone alone.
He's going to be the head speaker at the podcast movement. He's done 2 episoeds.
He should be speaking at the hot dog movement.
They closed.
I know.
Yeah, he's on to bigger and better things, dude. He's going to be a judge on the Masked Singer.
From Hot Dogs the podcast.
No, dude, he was on the Masked Singer. He was the bunny.
You're richer than
I guarantee you he'll end up being a judge on that show.
Yeah.
And then
Fatone's a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
It goes to show you now. It is getting a little fucked out with the amount, and especially when I found out that iHeart's new thing is like literally flooding the market with just any podcast content they could possibly. They're mandating all the radio shows to do as much podcast content as possible. Like take every bit from their show and turn it into a podcast and shit. And you're like, God damn,
put it up on the
They're ruining it for us.
Yeah. Like
put it up on the website.
I don't think they are ruining. I think it'll show how much better yours is when you hear.
I agree with you.
I don't know, though, because, like, people that are already radio listeners that don't already listen to podcasts, they hear the word podcast, and they now reference it with these shitty things these radio shows are putting out, and that's all they're going to think podcasts are.
And plus, and then you hear, it's a never-ending, when there's 100 million hours of podcast content being distributed each week or whatever.
Overwhelming.
It's just like, oh, my God, come on. It's, I think there has to be some way to organize them, but then it becomes a class system and elitist thing. But really, when all's equal, how the hell are you gonna find anything anymore? Like you just it's just too much content. I mean, we're lucky that we got in it. Speaking of been doing this for 10 years, back in 2009 when we started, like we were hitting like 13th or whatever top 20 podcasts on iTunes.
Highest we ever hit was 11th.
But there was less podcasts out there. Like people, iHeart didn't even know what the fucking pod nest was. They would tell us like, "What is this? I don't know why
we
you're doing
resigned
it."
because they didn't believe in podcasting. Now suddenly podcasting is fucking cool. Fuck that.
But everybody is coming out with a podcast, and it does kind of make it next to impossible for Joe Average to come out with something and it be even recognized in the sea of when every celebrity, because now the new business model is like, oh, you're a celebrity, you have a name, people know who you are, do a podcast, because now people like, everybody knows who Joey Fatone is. So then when we announce it, people are like, I know Joey Fatone, I'm gonna listen to it. The problem is like, I don't know Joey Fatone, but I would imagine it doesn't have as much repetitions with doing a talk radio style format. So I don't know. It could be good unless I'm not talking shit, but all I'm saying is that you kind of diminish the product when you just have everybody. I knew this was happening when Shaquille O'Neal had his own podcast. I don't know if he still does, and maybe it's good.
I would listen to the Shaq podcast.
Me too. Yeah, well, that's what you say on the first one. Like, you see, the number one has got like
Taco Bell
1 million downloads, and number two, 2,000 downloads. Like, what happened? Everybody listened to number one. And I'm not saying that I don't know about
If he
Shaq,
does the
but
shimmy that he does in the Gold Bond commercials, I'm in.
His first rap album was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm outstanding.
Shaq Diesel.
You know, Kathleen Gifford had a podcast for a while, and I think she fell into that whole thing too, where they're like, "Oh, everybody knows you, just do a podcast." And then same thing with Ron Burgundy shit. It's all fucked out.
Well, that's not even real.
No, it's just a character doing this.
They're
shit
like, this week Ron's trapped in an elevator. I saw that come through like on some thing, and I'm like, oh god, now it's just a scripted fucking show.
I should listen to it just because I'm talking a lot of shit. It could be good, but
I hear the commercials and I'm just like, God, that sounds awful.
I mean, if you like Ron Burgundy, you'll kind of like it. I don't really know.
Here's what I don't understand is like, if this guy is, I don't know, if he's telling the truth, why is Joey Fatone recording shit on a cell phone and under the like?
He probably just doesn't know.
Maybe
he's making maybe
he was making a joke.
Meet
me up at Gators Dockside.
No way. I know the guy that wrote the email. He's not.
Dude,
that
mobile recorder that we used is all of what? $200
They
brand
dropped
new.
the
Whatever.
price.
Yeah,
Like, $350.
Yeah,
like for $600, you can get what Fisher has. You can get the Roadcaster, and it has everything you need.
Yeah.
You can hit your commercials, your sound effects. You have you can take phone calls from it, Bluetooth.
Here's the thing. People will listen to that Joey Fatone thing because of his name. Like,
Yeah.
if you go back and you listen to original Bill Burr episodes, they're awful.
Yeah,
the
they
audio,
are. They're
he's
pretty
on
bad.
a phone. He's calling in and leaving voicemails for himself and then putting it out as a fucking podcast.
Like even our stuff, if you go back and listen to the first ones, the audio
not nearly as bad.
No, you're right.
And we did a show where we did our 500th episode, and we played our first episode. The first episode, the audio quality is not as good, but it's damn near close.
Yeah,
it's not
better
inaudible.
than half, yeah.
That's all Daniel, by the way, obviously.
What did I do?
Because he cares about the sound quality. He always has. Even when I was screaming, who gives a fuck, back in the beginning.
Yeah. He said, we're going to be rich. Who gives a fuck?
Businessman,
he's
Tom
like, we're
Vann.
modern day Ron Burgundy. Like, what? I don't even know what that means.
It's a podcast. Who cares what it sounds like?
All right, here we go.
Hey, Tom and Dan. Heard you guys talking about breaking a dick and bleeding out, and that actually happened to me this one time. Back in the day, I was having sex with this girl, and I don't know what it is. I'm uncircumcised, so I think it was the little piece of skin just like tore.
That's attached.
And I was bleeding crazy the whole time. I orgasmed and everything, didn't even know until I got up and the sheets were literally coated in blood. And then she went into the bathroom, and when they push out the semen,
oh my god,
literally just spit out a whole gloop of blood.
Oh, come on.
You sure she didn't start her period?
Thought I'd tell you. Have a great day, guys.
I like that he used the scientific term gloop.
That's probably how Butler plugged up the toilet.
Oh, come on.
Big old blood gloop.
Is that something that could tear?
Yeah, I've torn mine.
Sure,
I've torn mine before.
Skin tears.
But it's the little flap of skin that holds
on the bottom.
Okay, yeah.
Because it goes all the way around, and then there's like a connector piece on the bottom.
God, I have no idea about that.
Look at your sons.
I know
in detail. Hold it for a long time too. They love that.
I have to. I'm now getting to the point where I'm gonna have to teach because my wife is like, I don't know anything about this. You have to. It's your job to teach.
I know I've been calling it a dilly dilly wang wang, but the jig's up. It's your penis.
So I'm not really well versed on the uncircumcised ways.
There's no difference. It's a
I know,
it's
but
a piece of skin.
Pulling it back and
It's not a handgun. It's nothing to be afraid of.
I know. It's just
you
I
just
don't
pull
know.
it straight back. It just folds over the mushroom tip.
Yeah.
And
I understand
then it
that
collects
concept.
at the bottom of the mushroom tip.
Yeah. But then there's a piece of skin. I don't know what.
Well,
that
no,
is.
it's
Maybe
just
Dan
it's connected.
should help
I can
you
show
out with
you
your two
mine.
kids.
You want to see mine? I'll take it in the bathroom and I'll show you mine.
Yeah, I'm like pulling it back. Yeah. Like, oh,
You can practice on Dan.
I'll even put a diaper on and a big blonde wig. I'm like, all right, I'll be playing the role of Max, your son, and I'm gonna lay on the floor and play with my blocks, and you come over and ask me about my penis.
Yeah. Then I
Totally
inspect
fine.
it. I
Yeah.
put a dab of Desitin on top.
Do
I don't know
you do
what
that?
happens. I don't
Don't
know.
do that.
All right. Next email.
I just want to point out that somebody in the chat room said that they love Tom's grumpy cat face whenever someone talks about sex, and you do that. You'll go like this.
Oh,
you go,
wait till we tell you about the story that happened last night. Wait till I tell him that.
Hi,
guys are
Sam.
animals.
I wanted to send you an email for a show discussion topic. I was listening to a show recently where Tom mentioned the high school he went to in Kendall. Pretty sure it was Killian High School. I am originally from Pompano Beach and wondered if his school was close to where I grew up. I checked out Killian's wiki page and was interested in all of the listings under incidents that have occurred at Tom's school, namely one concerning the Killian 9. This happened in 1998, so I think Tom would have been a student at the school at the time. Apparently, the Killian 9 created some pamphlets that threatened people that were arrested at school, and it was a big deal. Does Tom or his friends remember this?
Yeah.
There were a lot of other incidents listed.
He was
Interesting
one
place
of
to
the
go.
9.
I was going to say, I think you talked about
my buddy
it before.
Dave was one of the Killian 9. I just saw him last time I was down in Miami. We were hanging out drinking beers. And I got to get him on the show to talk about that.
Did you ever kill those teachers?
It was one of the original.
But was Pudge a part of it?
Pudge was not a part of it. He was a year younger than me. And
Lil Pudge.
David he's 2 years older than I am. So I was a freshman when he was a sophomore or a junior. In the Killian 9. But it was one of like the first free speech. They made a pamphlet. They put the principal, but they put a dart on his head, and they made some like things like soft threats, and they basically said it was it was all satire and them but they all got expelled for it, and then there was a big court battle. They all eventually had to go to different schools because it was such a big deal. But
Was that before or after Columbine?
It was
probably would have been
before. Yeah, it was before because this would have
Columbine was 2099.
No,
yes.
it was 90. That was 98.
No,
I was a
99.
sophomore. I was a sophomore,
Yeah.
so maybe it was
It
99.
happened.
I think it was 99. Yeah.
This
This is pre-Columbine for sure. This is before. No, there was no like school shootings. That was a bizarre
really,
thing.
no.
Yeah, like the school shooting would have been like some kid that was like a gangster brought his gun and like shot someone. It was never like
I'm gonna
these
shoot everybody, Shane.
Not that
He's
gangster.
like,
But
This is my school now, Shane.
It was
So-
April 20th, 1999. That
Okay.
was Columbine.
I'll get Dave on the air one day and we'll talk about it.
Get Dave on the horn.
Yeah.
One of the Killian 9. We should interview all 9.
Ooh.
And do it
Don't
in
know the other one, though.
9 parts.
Yeah. They were
Your
on
friend probably knows, right?
Yeah. They're on 2020 when it happened. I remember seeing them like
Every time I hear your cruise 2020, I think it's just going to be like the show 2020.
Probably.
It's going to be like
got
the
John
Catch a
Stossel.
Predator.
People go even crazier because it's the last cruise.
John Stossel. Remember when Dr. Death slapped his ear?
Yeah.
Because he said wrestling was fake and he went deaf in his ear.
Yeah. Popped his eardrum.
Yeah, it'll take that Stossel. My God. Here we go.
It always makes me laugh when Tom starts talking about how antiquated some technology is, whether it's DVD players or the traffic report on the radio. Except isn't this the same guy who can't turn off the notifications on his text messaging and still doesn't know how to use his Google Calendar? Anyways, SFT guys.
Yeah, but I understand. I'm yelling at corporations should know better. Like, why are they still doing this? Me, yes, I'm an old pop-up. I do not know technology. But I hold the billion-dollar corporations to a higher standard than myself, right? Like, me not knowing technology shouldn't be like, well, I can't talk about anybody else that doesn't know. Well, of course I can.
Well, it's not that
they should know.
It's different though because you're not. It's not that you don't know technology. It's more that you don't care to know technology.
Yeah. That's just not.
It's just not something that I think interests you.
Yeah.
Like if I brought you in here and explained to you how, like, oh, I made a upgrade on this thing because it'll do this and this or X and Y, you'd be like, all right, whatever, as long as it still does what it's supposed to do.
But I also don't still use a DVD player or CD. I don't know what the fuck.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, of course, because who the fuck needs that
I
shit?
have one.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Yeah, but it's stupid. You have it for nothing.
I don't have a Google Calendar. I write everything.
Google Candle.
No, Google
that
Calendar.
Would be weird.
I have like a regular calendar that I carry everywhere.
That is
see
stupid.
Well, it's in my car.
No, it
Why
doesn't
do you do
a
that?
lot of good.
Yeah.
What if
Why?
I have
Because
something to date to throw
Have it
you
in
right
your
now?
have it in your phone. The technology.
No, then I can't see
Are you coming
it
to my
all.
birthday party?
You
Put it
can't
in your
see it all.
calendar.
I'll write it down. When is it?
I don't want to tell you unless you have your calendar.
Yeah. So yeah,
It's just easier for me.
We're going to Chi-Chi's. Chi-Chi's.
Get that fried ice
still
cream.
around.
Fucking Chi-Chi's. There's still a Chi-Chi's?
I think
another
so.
email.
Not here.
I don't know. I'd have to look. Hey, show. In lieu of future John Busdecker's Get on the Bus articles being called fake news, which has been happening quite often recently,
It has.
I proclaim the need for a news segment called You Riding the Bus or the Van. Busdecker will read news articles, and Mr. Vann argues the opposite or for it angle. Either side may
I
claim
like
said
this.
article is real or shit. Method and names are up to you. And show members may claim sides as they feel. Love you all and can't wait to meet you guys and my BDM friends in person soon. Joel from Michigan.
All right, I like that idea. I wanted to do something similar because I think. I'll preface this by saying I think I can spot fake news stories pretty well. Like something that registers as like, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. Like in some part of the story, and usually I'm right. Or you start diving
Fake
into
news.
Snopes or whatever.
Well, there was one that came out just recently, like a couple of days ago. I don't know if you put this in news, but it was from our Fox affiliate here in Orlando, where some girl claimed that her iPhone was hacked and that a guy was like looking at her through the camera and spying on her and stuff like that. And I'm like, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And they were like, your iPhone, this girl's who, and they're saying this. They're like, the girl's iPhone was hacked. And I'm like, no, it was not. It doesn't, like, why are you scaring people into thinking that, you can just be walking down the road and your camera's going to come on, there's going to be some dude, like, staring at you.
Yeah,
It just doesn't happen like that.
The same shit happened with, I remember when baby monitors first came out with a Wi-Fi, and it was like, your baby monitor could get hacked. Now, that is true. There is a possibility that people can hack into the Wi-Fi signal or whatever into your baby monitor and like look at your baby, I guess, from some Russia or whatever. But I bet you it's probably happened a very, very rare times, like or not that many. There's a couple instances that maybe baby's camera got hacked, but everybody freaked out about it. Every mom was like, "Oh my god, like should I have Wi-Fi? Like I'm gonna go back to analog baby monitor." I'm like, who the fuck? First, if some guy in Russia's looking at my baby sleep, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
You know what? I am bored. Maybe go into the computer, watch Orlando Bay. Look at him. He's so little tiny.
If it doesn't make
so cute sleeping there.
If it doesn't
uncircumcised.
Yeah. I wonder if his foreskin is bleeding.
It's same thing with the Halloween candy, all that bullshit. If it doesn't make sense or sound like it's an actual motivating factor for people to do.
That actually happened once, but
What?
The poison in the candy, but that was a long time ago at
I know, but one
psychopath
out of every, there's
well, that's why the rumor started.
I know, but
it hasn't happened since though.
I didn't believe it. And I wasn't trying to be insensitive because I commented on a post, and that's my fault. I shouldn't have done that.
Was the chick lying, or did she not know?
Now, personally, this is just my opinion. I think that she's lying. Like just all the details that I was seeing in the story, I'm like, none of this is adding up. And then they were like, mentioning that maybe she had given her Apple ID to somebody or through a website. Well, there's a huge difference, and this is what I said online. There's a massive difference between giving your Apple ID. You're basically giving up every piece of security you have on your phone to somebody else and having it hacked. Massive difference in
because
that.
Through an Apple ID or through your
It's like giving
computer's
somebody
idea,
a key to your house and then saying, "Oh, they broke in." No, they didn't break in.
It's like our buddy Joe used to be able to jump on our computer and then navigate it
Through TeamViewer. Yeah, I can do that right now. I can do yours, but I have to have it. First of all, I have to have that software on your computer.
Yeah.
I have to have that password to that computer. There's a two or three party identification, meaning I have to access it. It bounces back to me. Then I have to put in the password again. Then it'll access it.
When celebrity cell phones get hacked, all their pictures are usually on the cloud, and that's what they hack, right? They're hacking the internet. They're not hacking their phone per se and getting into your pictures without them being on the cloud. That's impossible.
I couldn't tell
right?
you.
Okay.
But now iPhones can be hacked. They can, but my point is that it's extremely rare, and more than likely there was a security breach that was probably due to something she did. She wasn't hacked.
Oh,
so
you're victim blaming.
No, I'm not. Because what I'm blaming is the news for putting in the headline that it was hacked.
Oh yeah.
Had they said teen gives up Apple ID and
bamboozled,
or tricked into somehow giving up security of the phone, then I'm on board. But when you say it's hacked, all you're doing is trying to scare everybody who has that particular phone. Mm-hmm. It's a headline grab. It's bullshit.
Yeah, and that's what they do.
It's podcast movement.
So all they want to do. Bustek, you were in the news for a while.
Yeah. Did it all the time.
Yeah, that's all you're looking for is the click or whatever, and that's what every reporter and what the management is telling every reporter or content provider, like, hey, it's all about getting clicks or all about getting
there's
views.
some truth to getting clicks. I mean, there's a way to write headlines to get you to click on. Now, I'm not saying you should lie or even lie or make,
exaggerate.
Yeah, but there's certain ways to write a good headline. In certain ways, probably not to write so good headlines.
I found the story. If you guys want to see a bit, or you want me to hold it for news?
It just seems nowadays every headline is not necessarily 100% legitimately honest about what's in the story, and it's salacious on purpose.
So here's a good headline. Read that headline.
Mom says someone spied on daughter through hacked iPhone.
So there's nothing wrong with that headline because that's what the mom says. That's what she thinks.
Right. It's like the next line right here says police say they're investigating a claim.
Yeah.
That someone was spying on a teen through her iPhone.
That's not an incorrect headline because the mom says
right. This is 6, though. This isn't 35. 35's was a little more...
Because people are just going to see that and be like, oh, my God, my iPhone could be hacked. And then you're causing...
People read headlines, people don't read articles.
I agree. No, I agree on that.
And that's my point, is that I don't believe her phone was hacked, and I'm not victim shaming, and God bless her, she's a young girl, and her mom, and the stress that's on the family, I get it. But it probably had something to do with user error, or maybe clicking an email that you shouldn't have, or downloading maybe you're like, you know what? A lot of people that have these problems with iPhones, especially, they're jailbroken. And when you jailbreak your phone, you're leaving it, you're kind of rolling the dice.
This is going to lead me down a rabbit hole, but they did this one time to Hope Solo, and this reminds me of those pictures.
You didn't want to see those.
But we looked at, they said, like, Hope Solo fails drug test, and, that was the headline or whatever. And then you read the story, and then it just so happens she was taking some birth control that had some banned, stimulant in there and the birth control, and that came up in a test, and then they found out, and everything was fine. They didn't suspend her or whatever. But the headline was Hope Solo fails drug test.
Yeah.
And during the Olympics or whatever, and then you're like, what the fuck? You're ruining this person's reputation because it has nothing, everybody immediately...
That's what sells.
I know. It's fucked up, though.
I agree.
And immediately...
But you clicked on it.
But I read the story to find out. I mean, most people would just...
But if the headline would have been, Hope Solo fails drug test, but it's because of pregnancy.
Right.
You'd be like, all right, I don't need to read that.
I know, that's the problem.
Well, it's also a non-story at that point,
exactly.
right?
Once you put the real headline on it and it kills the story, then take it out of the fucking news.
But then that leads
business. It's all a business,
I know. It leads me to
like podcast movement. It's a business.
Hope Solo's been screwed over a lot of. So then someone hacked her phone. Remember those pictures came out?
Well, it's not the phone. Everyone's arguing in the chat room, and they're right. It was the cloud. Okay, so it's not the actual device.
Someone hacked hacked her cloud and got nudies of her, and I feel bad
her
because
cloud her cloud had a hack in it for sure.
But let me
leave her alone.
Let me. I will tell you that
woman.
it is. I do feel bad for her, but
at least wait till that thing's not so red before you start snapping photos of it.
The pictures.
I didn't see these, so I don't know.
Okay,
what
yeah.
you're talking
No,
about.
I would do that. I would wait till
Jesus doesn't look the
wait
point.
till my penis was not bright dog dick red before I'd start snapping photos.
Well, what
to
if
send
that's
to
what
Tom.
it always looks like? She can't help it.
No, I don't believe that.
Although
everybody's calms down after a little while.
it was very. I don't know if she. Okay, and now this is feel bad. She is a victim of hacking, and no one deserves that to put.
No.
And now just like everybody just talks shit about her genitalia.
Yeah,
It's like,
I know.
leave the poor lady alone.
Including
I should
me.
leave it alone.
And
All
I
I'm
find her
saying-
very attractive. I look. I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating
yeah,
crackers.
Of course. Although if you did look at the pictures, you would notice that it was very bright in the room.
Yeah. Too
And
much lighting.
The pictures were taken very medically.
Too close.
Very
Yeah.
too close, and you're like,
Look like an autopsy photo.
yeah,
It's very close.
You're like,
if you
"Go!"
sent me, it would be like if you sent me a picture of your boobs and it was literally like macro zeroed in. It looks like a Death Valley areola. I can see the cracks of the skin in your nipples.
Look,
I'm
I don't
like,
have cracks in my nipples.
but
Don't spread that rumor.
if I put a microscope on them, everybody does. Your skin is a crackly
It was
surface.
bright and very up close, and I don't know what the purpose of that was.
Yeah.
Really, like if
like,
but then again, how dare
Put
I?
it on
He's
a
not a professional photographer.
Put it on a
No.
selfie stick and go down with it.
I've seen a lot of other celebrity nudes, and they generally there's.
This guy, he's
I'm
the
sorry.
foremost authority. He's the
Aficionado.
only one that knows more about it is Mr. Skin.
I know. There's celebrity skin.
Every
over
time
here.
these come out, I don't know how to find them. I ask Daniel. Daniel finds them. He shows them to me. We look. And
Why
I'm
are you
like, all right,
implementing me in this?
I'm
My
just saying the
God.
truth. And
Like a manifold over here.
and in other
Implementing me, and now I've been indicted.
and in other instances of celebrity nudes, it looks like they took the pictures to send to a significant other, and they wanted them to be sexy. All I'm just saying is,
Let me clarify.
these
We're
were
not at
very
all body
harsh.
shaming. I'm just saying that
Yeah, got a
I'm
great
with,
body.
I'm with Tom. She's an athlete. She has a great body. I'm with Tom, though. They were medical photos.
Yeah, they weren't
You
like
know?
a sexy. Again,
Like
though,
I happen
I
to
shouldn't
think,
be looking at them. Anyway,
I
let's
happen
go
to
to
think
break.
I have a decent looking penis. Here, I'll end with
There's
this.
no way for me to save myself.
Yeah, back out of this one.
I'll end with this to take some heat off of you. I happen to think that I have a pretty attractive penis. But if I sent any of you a picture of my pee hole, you would be appalled. Like, you would be like, gross.
Yeah, with a close-up light.
Yeah, like
Anyway,
right in there. You'd be like, is that Carly Simon's lips? And I'd be like, no, it's my dick lips.
All right, let's take a break.
You ain't
and
hacking my DVD player, that's for sure.
We'll,
Oh my god.
we'll
Nobody
come back.
cares about your DVD player.
Remember, the 10-year, $10 sale is going on right now in the merch section.
It is. Sell the sizzle. Let's take a few more calls, too. 1-844-TOMNDAN. You're listening to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. That is the Get Up Kids. Punk rock royalty there.
Heard that in a
These
long
guys
time.
have been in the game since 1995. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I am Tom.
The bus decker is here. The Samantha is here. The butler is here. And the guests are here.
Yeah, we got guests that refinance through Streamline Mortgage Solution. In fact, they use a lot of our sponsors. They
Used
buy
all of them.
Keeping you in
garage
business.
door,
Yeah, you guys
whatever
actually
you use.
earned the
Precision.
luxury
Precision,
suite
yeah.
weekend, so you'll be staying in the studio this weekend.
Yeah.
This folds out into a bed. Just I ask politely if you are going to fuck on it to unplug the security camera.
Oh, I'm surprised you asked them to.
Well, I'm a gentleman. We don't want to Hope Solo
we know. I was
scenario.
gonna say we know you are after you talked about Hope Solo's vagina.
No, I didn't talk about it. I said it's medical. It is
The
medical.
pictures are just bright.
Like, I think my wife's very beautiful. I don't want to see I don't want you to put his camera in her where she's got a speculum in her puss. You know what I mean? I think she's the most beautiful woman in the world. I thought that last night too when I did something that oh man, she is not happy with me.
Oh yeah, what do you want to even say that? I mean, we're about to do news.
Yeah, I can talk about it before it's a good. It's a good low point before we get to news.
It's gonna make
You
you
haven't seen my
uncomfortable.
news yet.
Oh, of course it's gonna make you uncomfortable. So I was she got back from DC. She went on a work trip. It was amazing. She had an amazing work trip. Her new job is phenomenal. I'm very, very jealous. She loves it.
She went to. I've never even heard of is it Gershwin?
It's like the Gershwin Honors, and it was like Gloria Estefan and Cyndi Lauper was there, and all these celebrities, and
it's the government giving an award for arts.
I believe so. Yeah, okay. I believe it was an award for Gloria Estefan and her husband, and she got to actually see them perform, which. I mean, like, Gloria Estefan, I don't care who you are, what type of music you like, whatever the fuck. She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, she's legendary status, especially in, like, Latin music. And Miami Sound Machine, you put some of that on, I'll be hard-pressed not to boogie.
Uh-huh. Me too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good music. And
it don't take much for me, though.
Yeah, well, you're a boogie man.
Yeah, it's true.
So you also look like Slender Man. Actual Slender Man. So my wife comes back from D.C., and, of course, you haven't seen each other in 3-4 days. Mm-hmm. It's time to get at it.
Yeah.
And so
you say, of course, that's not everybody's relationship.
No.
I'm speaking for a large amount of our audience out there.
I mean, are you?
I don't know.
Do you think more people are your wife comes back from a trip and you're like, he's back? or more people are like, let me get at it?
Well, based on statistics, it's about a 50-50.
Yeah, I would say.
All right, go ahead.
So she, we start with the, rub and cuddle, and then it's, headbutt the buffalo, and then yesterday was National Steak and Blowjob Day.
Right. Also Pie Day.
Yeah, also Pie Day. So, but I had my choice of whether I was gonna. Let's say, stake my claim or brush her teeth. I'm doing this for you so you don't get weirded out.
Somehow it's worse.
Yeah, and so
teeth should not be involved.
So she's like laying on her back, and I saunter up and I do the and it's an advanced move. You probably don't do this one, but I had been headbutting. So then I came up to where because she's laying on her back, right?
Okay.
I come up to her and then I present to my D, and she's doing that, and then stick your tongue out, and I wag it on there a little bit.
Okay.
And then I'm like,
he's doing grumpy face cat.
And then
it's our guest as well.
Yeah, and then I'm I'm on my knees, presenting it to her while she's on her back, and then I'm like, she's brushing her teeth, and then I'm like, hold on, I pull it out, and I'm like, let me, and then I. All over.
No, come on.
Never done that with her.
No, really? First time?
What?
First time.
First time?
Yeah. Normally it's in the mouth, not on the cheek.
First time ever that you guys been together?
On the face?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I've never.
Yeah. See, I think it's but we tried something. And she was all in. But then it was so funny because she's so analytical.
I hope you didn't get in her eyelashes.
And she's no. She's such a nerd that as it was, kind of, there, and she looks at me and in her nerd voice she goes, "We tried it. I'm not a fan."
A lot of cleanup.
Not for the girl
That's what
or the person.
She literally, as she is laying there, she goes, "We tried it. Not a fan." We both started fucking laughing.
The recipient of that gesture is not gonna. They would be like, "Hey, this is the best experience I've ever
I didn't know I'd never done it, so I was like, I'd done it, but not
too much porn.
Not
Even
with
for
her.
the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Not with her. I've done it before. Never really thought about it.
Yeah.
But with somebody you truly care about, you truly love, I don't know. It was just in the moment. It just happened, and but just her comment, and we were fucking cry laughing because she's like, "Tried it, didn't like it, not a fan, not a fan."
There are some couples that they've called in and shit, and I've talked to, and they're like every time on the face.
No.
I'm like, no,
We're not those guys.
I'm like, no way. And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, why? First, why? That seemed more of a hassle.
Tom is 100% correct.
Yeah.
And some of the people we've met on cruises, even to tie it back to that, are like, I don't go to bed unless I get butt sex every night. We've met those guys before. And Tom and I are like, even I'm baffled because I think I have probably I'm a little more regular in that department than maybe you are, just from what we talk about. I'm assuming. But I'm not that guy. I'm not anal every night or on the face every night. I'm not Mr. Porno.
No.
I feel really terrible for the notes I'm taking. I put Dan's sex story. Andrea, not a fan of facials.
She's not. And she's so ride or die that I even asked her on the phone. She called and she's like, hi, just, and I'm like, can I talk about this? She's like, sure. Everything's so fun.
I mean, you guys are married. I mean, it's a normal
dichotomy
thing.
It's a normal
of
thing.
how. And she's not, we joke around that she's nerdy, but like organized, clean cut,
No, but she
straight laced.
is nerdy, but she's like Bustecker nerdy. Like, cool nerd.
She never even smoked pot before.
No.
I'm glad you clarified.
Bustecker's way.
He's a serial killer.
He's more of a deviant than Andrea. Like, I don't even want to
know.
No,
I think he's the purest human being, I'm telling you.
That's what we see on the surface. If we saw what
I
Bustecker
was
did
partying
in the
with
bedroom,
you were.
Yeah,
we were.
But Jesus doesn't smoke in the shower.
I don't anymore.
He doesn't anymore.
He's doing some freaky things that we don't even know. It's involved like some sort of
I felt really weird because you commented on something on Facebook while we were on the boat, and then like his wife like popped up and commented on it, and she's like, I'm happy that he's away so I can have some and then I instantly got uncomfortable. Because your wife in my mind is not real.
A lot of people told me that on the boat.
I've never met her.
Yeah,
I've
met her.
she
She's
exists.
sweet.
Yeah,
She's super sweet.
Yeah, I've met her a couple times and
quite attractive. Busted very well for himself.
But
very well for himself.
But I always feel like there's some deep dark secret that Bustecker's hiding from us.
Yeah,
and,
I do
nobody will ever
too.
find out until standing above me with the or actually that move in Saving Private Ryan where I'm fighting him with a knife and then I'm like, oh! Then it sticks in a little bit. I'm like, oh!
But it's weird.
And it slowly plunges into me. Like,
no, but it's weird because you're laying on like what can only be described as like a marble sacrifice table. And you're in some sort of like darkly lit cathedral, you know? And you're laying there and you're nude, and Bustecker's, they all have like weird fucking eyes wide shut plague masks on, and he's in a robe, and he's talking, you hear him talking to the other guys, they're like, well, we must spill the blood before midnight, or, they're making the plans, you know?
And I wake up from some sort of drug-induced unconsciousness.
Yeah,
and,
and then Bustecker's holding a chalice over you, and the other guys are like talking about
and then I'm trying to get out, and then I look over, and then I'm like, Big Tim, is that you? I can notice your body type. You're wearing overalls, a bird mask to hide shit. You can see your red beard from under your bird mask.
Hey, baby, we're about to put this dagger in your ass.
Anyway, let's do some news.
All right.
Okay. Is it time to get on the bus?
Yeah.
Where's Bustecker's theme song? Oh, God, all of that.
God, we've
All of
lost
that,
the momentum.
And, yeah, we have. You know what? Shut the show down. Oh, God, what did I do? Oh, I put it under B for Bustecker.
Get on the bus, get on the bus, bid no good. Get on the bus, get on the bus, bid no good. Get on the bus, get on the bus, get on the bus, get on the bus. Get on the bus, get on the bus, get on the bus, get on the bus.
Hey.
News today brought to you by My Kramer Law Firm, onefirmforlife.com.
Here we go.
Thanks, Blippi.
Blippi loves the Kramer Law Firm.
They handle everything, so one firm for life.
Yep.
All right, first story.
So while we were on the cruise, there was breaking pelican news.
That's true.
And I had to report on that.
Okay.
And so
you are the Pelican King.
I know. I actually had some people come on who were on the cruise. They came up to me and they're like, "We love that you're the Pelican reporter."
Yeah. Oh, that's an insult, by the way.
Anyway, a Maryland man accused of trying to catch and tackle a federally protected pelican in Florida is now wanted by the police.
All right.
So authorities issued a warrant for 21-year-old William Hunter Hardesty, who is accused of trying to capture the bird while in Key West.
His name is Hunter. I feel like he gets a pass, right?
No.
Now, there is a video on the internet of a man that went up to a pelican and grabbed it as it was trying to fly out, but he was getting a
That's
apparently
different. He was helping.
he was helping. It had a like a 6-pack ring stuck on his bill or whatever.
Not this guy.
Okay.
This guy.
Maybe he had just finished his beers and was taking the ring to a trash can.
So this guy, he has a criminal history in Maryland. He posted a video on Facebook of the incident on March 8th, which I think was when we got on the cruise on Thursday, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
He's being charged with animal cruelty. So did you guys see this video or no?
No,
It's like a really short video. It's like 20 seconds. He's like putting a fish out. The pelican's kind of trying to get it, and then the guy jumps in the water jumps on top of the pelican and starts like trying to grab it and wrestle it. They sort of start wrestling, but eventually the pelican just like bites his face and then flies away. Yeah, here's the video. It's super short.
I got the video here.
Does he hurt it?
Yeah, fuck this guy.
I also love that people are so fucking comfortable with just putting this shit on social media like they're not going to get shit for it. Fucking idiots.
So he has the pelican.
Yep.
The pelican's like stunned, yeah, and then it bow.
Oh shit!
And it pecked him in his head. And
Yeah.
let it go.
Flew away.
I wish it took out his
So
eye.
apparently he was trying to do this for a long, like 10, 15 minutes, but this was the part they actually put on YouTube. And so now he's being wanted for animal cruelty charges. So, but he lives up in Maryland. So, but I think they'll get him.
Are pelicans protected?
They're protected species.
I don't think they're endangered, but I think they are protected.
Yeah.
So don't jump on a pelican.
And you filmed that shit and put it on the internet. You're asking for trouble. I mean, the manatee, the lady who rode the manatee that time,
sea turtle.
Because the problem
Don't
is,
Jump on a Pelican was the least popular TLC song ever recorded.
You can jump on an alligator.
I don't know why you would post. I mean, all right, I don't know why you would do it. I don't know why you would do it, but why would you even post it?
But Buster, you
'Cause
say
you don't
that,
know-
but all of the videos get posted.
yeah.
Like they never not get posted.
I don't think the guy knew that jumping on a pelican was illegal. Like,
He probably thought it was like
I don't
a
think
trash
most
bird.
people
Even
knew
if
that.
it's not illegal, why are you doing that?
Just
you're a piece of shit.
Well, here's the thing. My dad would probably hit a pelican with a bat or a golf club, but he's
That's
not going to post a
awful.
video of it.
Not to defend the guy.
My
but
dad would have said they're trash birds.
It didn't
know?
look like it looked like he scared it, but the pelicans are pretty
We
hardy.
pushed it way down in the water.
It's probably fine, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
still shouldn't jump on a pelican.
No. But to hit that guy's defense, it didn't. Like burning it with something, or like what Michael Vick did with dog. Like torturing an animal is really fucked up.
Apparently, he is not apologetic on Facebook. I don't know what he said, but that's what Tracy said in our Twitch chat room.
Oh, he's a dodo.
I'd love to see what his quote is. Is he like, it's just a dumb fucking bird?
Oh yeah, it says it's just a dumb animal.
Because there is a part of me that, this is going to sound so shitty. I'm glad, if he is going to go that route, that he sticks by his guns. And he's like, it's a fucking trash bird. You guys are fucking idiots. Who cares? Like, I like that better than him going, you know what? After thinking about it and sobering up, I should not have jumped on one of Florida's most majestic creatures.
If it wasn't a protected species, not illegal, right? Like if I just walked down the street and there was a
I think you can cannonball on a bird.
there was a dove. I mean, I'm not going to do this.
Doves are different. That's the bird of peace.
Or like any regular bird.
You want to punch a dove?
Well, I'm just saying, if you kicked a non-protected bird, nothing. Everything's fine.
Animal cruelty, I think.
I mean, you can't just like beat the shit out of a dog.
Yeah.
Okay, what if you guys
They're
are...
not, but they're not protected.
You could kill a bird and just leave
can
it for
choke out a
dead.
mountain lion.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, so
you could kill
Butler's-
animals. What's the
Butler's
difference?
got a dog and it gets off a leash. Not the dog that you have now, because I like that dog. But like you just have a dog and it gets off its leash and it runs over to me and I kick it in the head.
Well, if you feel like it's threatening you, I think you can defend yourself.
What about a squirrel? I'm walking down the street and a squirrel is like goes to like run in front of me and I just happen to kick it and I kill it.
Well, it's just fucked up that you did that.
Did you film
but
it?
it's not illegal.
Yeah, I put it on YouTube.
Yeah. I don't think that's illegal.
It's bad.
Yeah, bad. Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
can kill as many squirrels as you want, right? Seriously, then people hunt squirrels.
I don't think you can. No.
I think you can.
You
Like,
probably can.
yeah, there's nothing illegal about killing a
FWC
squirrel.
would fuck you up for that. I think the,
No. You
Maybe-
can,
is
the
there a
squirrels
limit?
are not protected. I
don't think so.
I think there is a squirrel hunting season,
I don't
possibly.
think people go squirrel hunting.
For some reason,
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
you were
they
going to
do.
say there's
They
a
definitely
squirrel
do.
hunting club.
No, but
And I was
people
like,
hunt
I'll do it.
squirrels a lot.
Really?
Oh yeah. And,
People eat them, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I've
there
never
may
had
not be a season for it, but there may be. I don't know. But I know that you're allowed to kill certain animals.
Okay, like Juan says something which, sorry Juan, I'm gonna say that your example is stupid. He says, what if somebody just walked up and gently pushed one of your kids on the grass. No harm. It's not illegal. Everything is fine, right? Well, that's my kid. It's a human.
Well, that's somebody else's fucking kid's baby squirrel. It was some squirrel dad.
It's
mom
a fucking
kid.
squirrel.
now you're this guy.
I may be
It's just a dumb animal.
Everybody knows
it's
this.
just a dumb animal. Now you're that
I'm
bro.
not saying it's a dumb animal, but if we're comparing it to a child, you can't make that comparison.
Listen, all I'm
you
saying
cannot make that comparison.
is nobody's. Here's the thing.
Look, I'm anti-killing squirrels. I'll just say that up front. But you can't compare a squirrel to a fucking kid.
A pelican is semi-defenseless. It can't, but like it is illegal.
So is a fucking little kid.
To jump on
Why
alligators.
are we even talking about little kids? We're talking about squirrels and pelicans, not kids.
Hey, there's a difference between humans and animals. Let's just set that straight here. And I know, believe me, I live with the most animal lover in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And what this guy did is fucked up. Come on.
Unless
what
that
the fuck?
pelican was going to bite Tommy, and then your wife would fuck it up.
Oh, kick that shit straight
Oh, my God.
Right at his big boozle.
But I feel like if there's an animal that could hurt you, you should be allowed to catch it if you want to. That's all I'm saying. Because it could fuck you up. Similar to an alligator, I'm trying to defend myself.
Now, what about this? What if the guy jumped in the water and then swam up and then grabbed the pelican?
No. Why? But why even go?
Just to see if you can catch it.
But why? That doesn't make
You're
any
testing
sense.
your own speed.
Yeah.
It's a speed test.
If you don't
personal
leave it alone,
achievement.
if you didn't hurt it, I feel like if he would have just grabbed it by its wings and there's a way.
What about if I feed it a Cheez-It? I'm giving it saturated fat. Now am I fucking abusing it? I'm going to jail now?
There's a proper way to handle animals professionally. This guy's just a drunk idiot. He's like jumped on it. He fucked it up. Don't do that. But if you just gently grabbed it and caught it just to see how fast
grabbed
you.
it.
No, there is way there.
When I was a kid, I tried in my yard to catch birds because it was like a ninja skills test.
My mother-in-law has friends that work at the Pelican Rescue down in South Florida, and they rescue pelicans, and they have ones that live there full time that can't be rehabilitated, and the ones that can, they rehabilitate and let go and stuff. There are instances where they have to catch them in the wild because they're fucked up in some way, and there's a gentle, proper way to catch them. I'm saying, and I'm not defending this guy, but if you caught a pelican in the right way, not hurting it, I'm just saying, I'll look the other way.
Yeah, I guess it gets to a point where it's like, what constitutes abuse?
Yeah.
Like if there's a manatee slowly, majestically, paddling down a Swanee River, and I just happen to be in a canoe, and I come up by it, and I gently lay a top hat on top of it. Is that abuse?
Technically, you're not supposed to touch it.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to touch it, but I put a top hat on it. I take a couple fucking selfies with it, and the next thing you know, I'm being arrested.
Yeah.
Well, like my wife, she'll see a turtle in the road, she'll pick it up and go put it out of the road. That's not abusing it.
If I see turtles in the grass, I pick them up and put them in the road. So tell her that. That'll stop her from doing it.
But if you kick the turtle out of the road.
It's like the old thing when people say, I voted for Trump. I was like, well, I canceled your vote. It's like that thing.
What constitutes, whatever you see in an alligator, big fucking alligator, 8-footer, and to try to impress your wife and your drunken friends, you catch it and
this sounds autobiographical.
hold its mouth shut just to see if you could do it, and then let it go.
Yeah.
Would I do that in the wild?
Technically, that is molesting.
Yes, technically
wildlife.
that is illegal,
But
federal crime.
Have I sat on an alligator and done that? Yes, I have. At like Gatorland.
Well, that's different than being in the wild.
And if you saw someone do it in the wild, you'd be like, "Holy shit, he caught it, didn't fuck him up."
It's
considered even.
Now, if you sat on the back of my daughter and held her mouth shut and pushed her down gently in the grass, we'd have a problem.
Sorry. Anyway.
Wait, did you do that? Why'd you apologize?
He wanted to do it on the cruise, but I told him he's feisty.
When does this get to fish? Once it gets to fish, it's too far. I'm jumping on a goddamn. There's guys that there's some guy that's like
the fish jumper.
He jumps out of helicopters and lands on the
Goliath groupers.
Marlins and shit, and will wrestle them, hold their bill. And
that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah. I'm sure
Samantha, get an interview with that guy,
dude. Look it up. Look up there's a guy. He's like famous for fishing, and like he's famous for
Marlin Wrangler.
Yeah, he goes and like fishes on like stand-up surfboards, like what are the paddle boards.
Oh shit, I got it right here.
And but he
jumps from a helicopter. I got it.
He lands on a marlin,
and he was on apparently on David Letterman here.
Yeah.
Here he is.
He's known for this kind of shit, but he'll jump on a marlin, grab its bill.
And take a look at. You tell us what we're. There's the helicopter.
Yeah, there's the helicopter. Yeah, there I am, sort of explaining to our viewers what's going on. There's some birds, mahi mahi.
Mahi mahi.
That's right. Yes.
Eat the
dolphin
shit
fish,
out of
as they call in this part.
Ooh,
of the
look at
world.
that.
And there's a marlin.
Is it marlin like a swordfish kind of deal?
It is. Well, not related to a swordfish, but very similar in
I
appearance.
see. Swordfish. Okay. And are they vanishing?
here he goes.
The marlin?
They are.
Shit!
I don't like that at all. That's pretty shitty.
That's a
No,
feat
he's
of
gonna eat it.
amazing. No. He just caught it and let it go, just to see if he could do it. It's fine. That's what I'm saying. Like this will soon be frowned upon by society. Be like,
I'm frowning on it right now.
It's perfectly fine. Like
What's the purpose of that though? Like,
just to see if you
show-
can
Be
do
a
it.
fucking dickhead.
Feats of strength.
And
That's
make a
why when
video.
we leave the studio today, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna try and catch an ant. I'm gonna start small. Catch
in
an
that guy's
ant. Catch a
What
roach.
Catch those bees
what this
outside.
guy did with the pelican, totally, he's a drunk fucking asshole. But the marlin, I'm like, holy shit, that's
He
pretty
literally
cool.
did the same fucking thing.
Yeah, but it's
just
a
jumped from
fucking
a
fish.
helicopter.
It's a marlin.
I also like how Tom says, "Hey, he's a drunk fucking asshole." You hear he say that?
I know.
He's an asshole.
I'm fine. I'm
Why
saying
fine?
Yeah.
once we'll get to the point in society. Well, this. I mean,
I
oh
think-
my
I
god!
think we're there.
I know.
You remember the video with the guy that was dragging the shark behind him?
Yeah.
Oh, what about when the
Listen,
guy that
you-
looked exactly like Jimmy John was posing nude with a fish?
Yeah. Like, there is.
God,
That's the only way to do it.
I kind of love that just
picture's
because I was like, why
awesome.
would you
Yeah.
even? Why are you nude?
And then
That doesn't
everybody's
make
like,
any
"That's Jimmy John," and then Jimmy John's like, "Not me, but I do kill big game."
yeah. And
Fucking awesome. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. We that's the divide in society. It was
Yeah.
like people. I grew up with fucking
Oh.
hunters and fishermen that did. Oh my god.
Well, there are a lot of people that wouldn't even
Blow
like
their face off.
what your dad did, which I actually think it's very, very, very cool, is that your dad would, fish, and let's say they reeled in a big tuna, he'd cut it, and you could eat it eat like sashimi style,
Yeah.
straight
I've done
up. Oh God, I bet that's amazing. But there are a lot of people that would think that that's horrible.
I mean, there's my dad caught a hammerhead shark that's sitting in, or the mold of it, or the taxidermied shark was at my grandfather's house. And there was a video, like once they caught it, first he had to shoot it. Because before he brought it on board or whatever, so shooting it with his fucking Glock and then brought it on board, and like the people fucking do this now. There's problems with like shark fishing, and like mainly it's the giant mass corporations fucking up like the shark population by massive net fishing and things like that. There's a lot.
What about noodling?
But
where does that stand?
Noodling's fine.
Yeah. Well, what about if I jumped on a catfish and caught it and I wrestled it and then let it go?
Because
That seems
noodling,
weird
basically,
to
I'm letting
me.
it eat my arm.
Yeah. And then you're pulling it up.
And then I'm pulling it up, and then I show everyone, look, I got one, and then I guess I just peel it off my arm,
I catch fish like behind my wife's grandfather's house, and sometimes I can't get the fucking hook out. I swallowed it, and I
That's
just cut the shit and then throw it back. I was like, I can't. Like, what am I gonna do?
You gotta rip it out.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, there are people would be like, holy shit. I mean, even my wife doesn't look at it, but she also understands, like, fucking one fish at a billion.
You guys' logic blows my mind.
Hey, listen, I'm saying
there's a hierarchy to animal loving.
When we get to fish and and there's certain fish that need protecting, but your average fucking snapper,
why are certain fish in a higher class?
Because they're
than other
endangered or protected or whatever. I understand the environmental laws, and there's certain fish that are protected. We need to protect them, but if you and that's why there's laws about it has to be a certain size and things like that. But
there's a fish I ate last night. I cooked.
I'm just saying when it starts to get to like, hey, don't
Me and Bus are like
don't
children over here.
jump on this
I
marlin.
was trying to talk about pelicans.
Yeah.
No, there's a
Fuck
fish.
these fish.
There's
We're
a
talking about
fish I
pelicans.
ate last night that is the world's most sustainable fish. Like my wife cooked this fish.
Oh, I thought you were going for a headbutting the buffalo.
No.
I was like, where's this going?
No, I had already. This is before that.
Oh.
It's the world's most sustainable fish. It's like some sort of sea bass that we had. I can't remember the name of it, but it is literally billed as the world's most sustainable fish, meaning that it's farm raised, but it's vegetarian diet. The fish.
Barramundi?
Thank you, barramundi. Andrea's in there. Barramundi, and it's phenomenal. It tastes amazing. It was so good. Like top 5 meals I've ever had. Like I told her, I go, that is fucking. We can eat that every night. But the ratio when you farm it is 1-to-1. So for every one you take out, there's another one there. So you're not over farming it at all. And it's got like as much of all the good nutrients and omegas as like salmon, but it's less calorically dense than salmon. Anyway.
Yeah, there's
your fish up.
There's
move on to the news.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right, so I saw
fun.
this story and I thought of Tom immediately. So fast food chain KFC is turning to crowdfunding to raise money for a new product.
What?
The KFC hot tub.
No.
All right.
Oh
no.
So the KFC hot tub and they're crowdfunding it.
It's raising money on Indiegogo to develop hot tubs designed to resemble the chain's iconic fried chicken bucket.
That's okay.
Dude, you did a KFC hot tub.
Oh, they're $1 billion corporation.
Yeah.
Why were
No, but
crowdfunding?
they always do stupid shit. Remember when the Colonel had his honey tenders and they gave away the Colonel honey bears? They always have something stupid.
Yeah.
But what are they planning to do? They want to then sell these hot tubs?
It says the hot tub would feature wood-fired thermosiphoning heating technology, capacity for 5 fried chicken-loving people, and a full 360 degrees of KFC branding.
Dude, we got to get a KFC hot
Wait,
tub.
so they're gonna
put it in the lobby.
raising money
we'll put
to
it out
make
back.
the hot tubs, and then they are going to sell them and profit off of them?
The
Put it in their
campaign
garden.
Well, it may be a crowdfund. In fact, if you crowdfund it, they'll make a certain amount for everybody who crowdfunded it, and they give it to them only.
They're seeking $46,000 to kickstart the development.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
Yeah.
There you go, KFC hot tub.
Technically, because the technology for a hot tub exists, so all they had.
Oh, it looks like a bucket of fried chicken.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me
Okay.
get that out of the way so everybody on Twitch can see it. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live.
Wood-fired hot tubs are extremely ghetto because
that's the original way that they
Yeah,
started.
I know. But I'm like, now you're.
They should have had the Colonel in the hot tub. Who's this guy?
It looks to be one of our listeners.
It does.
Yeah,
I mean, we have 100 listeners that look like this guy in the hot tub.
Kind of overweight,
slightly
has a
beard, a little pudgy glasses. Hey, love the show.
Yeah.
That's our guy.
They work in technology.
Yeah. This thing is stupid.
I disagree.
As a
I
hot
like
tubbin, and the fact that it's wood fired.
When's the last time you were in your hot tub?
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Well, you've been having a lot of construction, right?
Yeah. Now
how's that going, by the way?
It's all
right.
It's all falling apart.
Is that a we tried it? Not a fan.
It's going.
Next story?
I'll update in 2 weeks.
So we talked about this a little bit earlier. Let's see here, my notes here. We got 50 people have been charged by federal prosecutors in Boston in connection with this $25 million scheme where wealthy parents bribed college coaches and insiders at college testing centers to help them get their kids into college.
Yes.
This is crazy.
This fascinates me because I'm like, I'm kind of putting the story together and seeing what happened. And it seems to me, and I could be totally wrong, but this has probably been going on for years.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you haven't sort of followed this, and I don't have all the notes here, but basically, people were paying like this company, or at least one of these companies, that could get you into college what he called the side door. So there's like the front door where you actually apply and get in. The back door, apparently, where you can maybe donate and build a building or something like that.
Yeah.
And then this guy was like working with coaches and academic advisors and stuff like that, where you would pay him, and then he would go out and like get your kid on the tennis team, even if your kid didn't play tennis.
Right.
Yeah.
And
through bribery.
Oh, yeah. Like he'd bribe the coach whatever $1 million.
And then bribe like proctors for the SATs.
Yeah.
So you could take, because there's loopholes.
Why? I don't understand why people are surprised by this.
I'm surprised
I assumed this was happening the whole time.
Not this.
I'm not surprised, but I think where my surprise would be sprinkled would be that when you are a celebrity, like, I don't know, like even some of the simple things that we do with a tiny bit of local celebrity, I feel like you almost have a feeling. Maybe Tom and I disagree on this, but like you almost mind your P's and Q's a little bit more.
Well,
not when you're rich.
Yeah, because
money talks.
Yeah, but also like there's risks involved.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not willing to do anything. Like.
Oh, this is where me
I
and
don't
you
know.
differ. Because I did.
I'm not willing to do that for.
He's been talking about bribing his kids' teachers.
I wanted to get my kids into different schools out of their school zone, and the people were like,
one?
"Well, you can't."
Anyone over here because we don't want you.
Yeah, he wants to get into your school.
And everybody's like, "Well, it's impossible." They're like, "Oh, it's not impossible. I'm the king of figuring our workaround, and I know."
Don't do it, man. You saw what just happened. You're gonna bring this whole company down.
I cheated on my SATs,
and you don't have that Hallmark Full House money.
Yeah. But so
she got fired from there too.
Yeah.
They let her go.
So she was still going to Vancouver, I believe, to do a Hallmark movie. Are they going to finish that one out or
not? So we're talking about Lori Loughlin. She was on Full House.
Aunt
and
Becky.
Her husband Massimo Julie.
Is he the Massimo?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so he's Massimo from like Target.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, he's like the Massimo from the Massimo Fortune.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Your khakis got me through every time I ever went to court.
So
everybody wears Massimo khakis.
She's got some bullshit actress money. He got that Massimo.
So they paid bribes totaling $500,000 in exchange for getting their two daughters into the University of Southern California
the one daughter
as crew athletes.
How do I say this? And the one daughter, because I'm a parent, he's a parent, they're still people. The one daughter is a YouTube influencer.
Yeah.
And she, how do I say this without going down the Hope Solo lane? She has taken an interesting path that I do not like. How about that? Is that a nice way of saying?
Oh, I don't even know what you're referencing.
Well, their daughter, the one that, one of the ones that supposedly was...
He's trying to get him into college.
Yeah.
She's like self-claimed, like, I only like to go to the football games and the parties. I don't even want to go to school here kind of scenario.
Yeah, she's like, I hate college. I mean, I do want to do some of the partying and I do some of the like...
a rich, entitled kid.
She also
she
was like I think a makeup model for some... She just got fired too, the daughter. From whatever company she was working, I think it was a makeup company.
The whole thing is
just
gross.
You know, well,
but I'm not fucking surprised.
Me neither.
Like,
it's like finding out a senator
in this country.
back in the 70s put on blackface. You're like, I assumed every senator put on blackface in the 70s. Like, that's what they did. Like, it's true. Like
beating up pelicans and
when
putting
someone's
on
like,
blackface.
Dog the Bounty Hunter said the N-word. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Because
the
his
first time I ever saw him.
His hair is literally combed like an N-word. It's the N-word haircut.
Yeah, I'm like, of course he did. Like, why anybody surprised by anything?
Juan brought up something that I knew would happen. Did you know where she was at the time when this all was popping off? The daughter that got into USC was actually in the Bahamas, like where we were at the same time, on the chairman of like the board of USC's yacht.
Oh,
so stinks. I mean, stunk.
You know, you know
bad.
What's interesting is like the people have been doing this for years, and they just so happen to these people were at the wrong place at the wrong time, and then. For sure, their friends have been like, "Oh, your daughter doesn't have good enough score, grades, or to get into
USC.
And then everybody, all their rich friends, are like, "Oh yeah, just pay this guy, he get him in there." And then like, "Are you sure?" Like, I'm sure
movies about this.
I'm sure they said like, "Are they not illegal?" I'm like, "Nah, everybody's been doing it for years."
Yeah, it's illegal, but who cares? Everybody does it.
Just
so, you know what I mean?
Just so happened to the FBI's doing this sting, whatever. They all got wrapped up there, like the worst possible luck. Although,
oh my God, did I do
fucked
it?
Up.
When I went to my daughter's school, and I'm like, because there's no peanut butter allowed on property because it's one of those schools. And am I the guy? Am I a junior? The guy? If I go to all of her teachers, if I'm like, hey guys, I know it's not allowed on property, but if you go to the coordinator's desk, there might be 12 custom cupcakes for you and some Target gift cards.
Yeah. Bribery.
That's lower tier. But
am I doing it?
Yeah, you're doing it.
I like bribery.
Oh shit, I've done it. Because Tom told me I was doing the right thing.
Didn't you just say it was fucked up?
It is, but I like it.
I even
Well, then you're
palmed
fine with
them.
it.
I palmed them. I'm like, hey, Merry Christmas.
Here's a Reese's cup.
Let's make sure somebody gets extra finger paint.
Well, why does it matter if they go to USC? Like if they
The
already
Trojans,
have
right?
if they already have that much money, like
That's what I was
they're already
saying.
starting at the top.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's just a thing of like, oh, my daughter, she can't make it in USC, and then someone was like, oh yeah, just pay to get
Is
her
that
in. And they're like, what?
prestigious?
That's what
of
I'm
a
saying.
I didn't think so either,
I mean,
but I don't
it's
know.
probably a great school, but I mean, I'm sure she could
I'm
go
sure
to
it's a
another
great school. I mean, like
Of
UCF,
course,
I
but
think UCF's a
it's
great
not
school,
Ivy
but it's
League.
not Ivy League.
No.
You know?
Yeah, and it's probably just she like, hey, all my friends are going there or whatever. I don't have the grades and the SAT scores.
But what's
you
the
can
reason?
pay for it.
But what's the reason to go to an Ivy League school if you've already made a bunch of money? Isn't
Well,
the point to go to a school to make a lot of money?
Just
Also,
brag
she's-
with the inner circle.
the
She's also
experience.
she's a YouTube phenomenon, so.
So
is
who
that real-
needs school then?
Yeah, exactly. Is that really going to help
Yeah,
you?
but
I mean-
how long is that going to last?
It's like being a part of.
Yeah, but if you
How
didn't
long
get
is
the
this
education
podcast
to begin
thing
with,
gonna
what's
last?
Pay your way through it.
No, but my point is that like the education, like we've altered the idea. Like it used to be that going to get a good education meant going to a school that you thought you were going to get the correct knowledge. Like when I chose to go to Flagler College in St. Augustine, I remember this, talking to my mom and dad about this. One of the reasons why we chose that school, and I say we because it was a process. I didn't have good SATs. I got a 951. I don't mind saying it. I came in hungover. I think I'm smarter than a 951, but I didn't fucking care. I was a good talker. I did great with the interview with the doctor that I had to do. My essay was fucking phenomenal, and they let me in. My point being, I went to that school primarily because 90% of the educators that worked there were doctors, All
right.
So I went there because I knew that all the teachers that I would be getting were like really high level. They weren't like teaching assistants. The classes were small. You got one-on-one. So have we shifted to the point where it only matters if I went to X and the educational part doesn't matter at all?
Yes.
Have we been there for a while?
Well, no, you're rare in the fact that I didn't know what the fuck UCF, UF, FSU. I didn't.
Well, my mom's an educator too,
Nope.
man. So it doesn't.
I know, but no one that I ever knew picked their college because they thought that they had the best educators there. It was just like, hey, I want to go to UF because everybody wants to get into UF. And
Juan in our Twitch chat room says USC was ranked 22nd best university in the country.
It's
in
a country
2018.
club. It's just for the just to say you went there.
The status of saying.
And then your daughter, you're a rich person. Your kids grew up rich. They want to go to USC, and you don't want to tell them no. So you're just like, I'll pay for you to get in there.
This is in your future, Tom.
Oh my God, you're
I'll
Becky.
get away with it though.
You're Massimo.
Believe me. And here's the thing: hundreds and hundreds, thousands of people have got away with it beforehand, before this, and thousands will get away with it after.
100%.
It's like busting, like that biggest cocaine bust they did recently is like they got something like $100 million worth of cocaine they found in the port. Guess what? They celebrated like, look how much. Meanwhile, while they're celebrating, hundreds of millions of cocaine.
Same thing with the Robert Kraft's thing. Guess what? That shit's going on all across the country.
In fact,
they just busted like 4.
In fact, they do purposely get caught so they can attract attention to one particular thing so that millions and millions of other pounds of cocaine can get through while they're like celebrating and the SWAT team's taking their picture on the cocaine. They're like, look, we got. Meanwhile, they're pushing and they're like, now go. They're not looking. And that's what they do. Guess what? It's always going to happen. Yeah. And this shit is just a fucking drop of water in the ocean. No one gives a fuck.
Owen just sent in our chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, if you want to go back and watch any of our streams. He said William H. Macy is involved.
Yeah.
But I thought that he wasn't
his
named.
wife is.
His wife is.
I don't know if she is.
Felicity Huffman.
Yeah, I got that here too.
Yeah.
She paid $15,000 a donation to a fake charity. In exchange, her daughter was able to take the SAT exam at a controlled testing center.
Of course.
Where her answers were corrected
altered
afterwards.
Again, not
That's got to make you feel pretty shitty as a student. You think she knew? You think the daughter knew?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The parents
tell them.
She knows she's a fucking dodo.
Well, here's the thing.
The parents say, listen, just do this and you'll get in. It's everybody's doing it.
No, but
that's the thing.
here's the thing, and it's all fun and games and pelican jumps until you actually think about what you're fucking doing now to your kid.
Well, now she thinks
and
she's
and the embarrassment and the fucking ridicule and how this is going to quite possibly tear your family apart now.
I don't think
like
so.
Lori Laughlin's bail was set at a fucking $1 million.
Yeah.
Well, no, but think about how
This
that makes
will
you.
be bad. Yeah,
Think
this-
about how that makes you feel as a kid. There's one kid that got brought up in it, and I respect him. He apologized and he said, I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's true.
Well, they said
But
a lot of the kids, none of the kids have been charged.
But I'm gonna go with him, and I'm gonna throw caution to the wind and say that I believe this kid. And he was like, I don't like the fact that I was unknowingly brought up into some sort of scandal. When there are other kids out here that are working their ass off to try and get the opportunities that I was given because my parents were willing to do this.
He knew. I think.
No, I'll give him a pass because he's a kid.
Well,
but-
you're taking the SAT by yourself, and the
No,
proctor's
no,
like,
that's
hey,
not all of them did that. No, that's not fair.
There could have been
Not
other
all of them
things.
did that.
Yeah,
Not all of them did
Yeah.
that.
Well, you kind of know when you're like, hey, what do I need? What are my grades and SATs, and what do I need to get into this school? And then you're way far short of that, and you get accepted. You're like, whoa, you think it's luck? I think, and here's the thing: if I was,
I don't think all of them knew.
all these rich people have really good lawyers, and all the good lawyers are like, first of all, claim you didn't know to get yourself out of it, and all this stuff.
Well, also,
and the
they're
parents
all-
are like, I'll take the heat of it.
Some of them might be underage anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like, and the parents have the money. They're the ones paying.
So
the
what
kids
are the-
aren't.
The
so.
dodo kids might have just assumed that
the
there was a
kids knew.
donation to the school. So they were like, hey, my parents donated some
By the
money.
way, this has been going on with donations to the school. There are tons. There are kids right now going to UCF because their parents are rich and they fucking
100%.
Milliken, old Dr. Milliken, their grandkid is going to fucking UCF full
Oh my God,
accepted no matter what.
I just checked some books out of the Joey Fatone library.
not that Milliken. I'm using
making
that as
that
an
up.
example. No, I don't know Milliken. This is the only
The
name
fat
that I
ones,
know.
excuse me, the fat ones,
Yeah.
hot dog library. What do you think these institutions do now in order to save face? Do they expel the kids?
Well, they got to go back now because they've indicted 50 people, but there might be 5,000 that have done this in the past. And so now they were saying they have to do audits to see kind of where kids are.
It's hard to go back. I remember when this SAT cheating scandal came out, and similar thing. Where
You did that.
Were you really nervous?
Even the
Like,
chat room.
I did this by myself.
Even the chat room is like, you can't say anything about this. He cheated on his SATs.
Yeah, but I got in with with my original SAT scores. I just cheated to get in. Then not during the summer. I got in during the fall. And by the way, I did it by myself on me.
Wait, you
my
cheated
mom,
on yourself. Good job.
No.
He cheated on himself.
I
everybody.
came up with the idea anyway. And here's the thing: no one gives a fuck because it's me, and I'm not nobody. So I could say
I'm going to petition because I graduated from UCF on my own merit. I'm going to petition that they strip you of your degree.
Yeah, do it.
They
do
never
it.
will do it because who gives a fuck?
Yo, this
and
used
I'm
to be
nobody.
an old bit that he and I loved. We'd be like, strip it, we fucking dare you.
Impossible to prove.
Yeah.
So anyway,
they kick their president out. They can strip you of your degree.
I know it wouldn't matter at this point anyway. But this shit has been going on for a long time, and yes, it's not
Jay
fair.
Brewer says, honestly, why is that a problem? Parents put a couple mil into the school. Seems fair to get a pass for their kids.
They weren't putting into the school.
Then nobody would be able to get into the school because
Yeah.
all rich people would just pay for their
It's
fucking
different
kids.
what
And
they've
that-
been doing.
By the way,
that's
they
not
were
what was happening.
They were paying a guy that was bribing the right people and a system. They weren't donating to the school.
They said they were doing like fake photo shoots of kids
They
playing
were like
soccer.
photoshopping people. Yeah.
Here's what I didn't understand. Okay, this
that
is
made me laugh.
Here's the thing that I didn't understand is like the one they were doing. They were like photoshopping people's face on the crew team or whatever.
Yeah.
But how did that work? Like once, okay, say this worked, right? And I assume that it worked before. Your daughter gets into the crew team. She has no experience. She has no idea what she's doing.
She's never going to do there. She's never going to be on the crew team.
Is it just so they could say she does
Yes.
crew so that it's part of the
That's it.
admission system?
Yes.
Oh,
There are
okay.
friends that I know that actually got scholarships to play baseball but never played a lick of baseball.
Yeah.
They took the scholarship, weren't good enough, took the classes, made the grades, but still.
And by the way, there's a lesser version of this. There are tons of companies. You need an extra.
We should start a company
You need an X amount of
to get kids into UCF.
community service hours.
Probably don't need to do that.
For certain scholarships and shit like that. In Miami, there was tons of different companies that, like, it's better if you have X amount of community service hours to getting into college, right? So if you had like 250 community service hours, that looks really good on a college application. But you can't just write it. You need proof from a third party saying, yes, he did this. There are companies in Miami that you just go there.
That's
just
the
pay,
easiest thing to fake.
You pay them, and they're like, all right, 250 community service, here you go.
That's
and
the easiest
it
thing.
costs $300, and then there it is. So in a smaller version, this shit goes on all the time with community service or whatever else.
Kind of like the Alabama judge that gave me a title for my 1959.
It's all a fucking joke and a business.
Ever believe me? This
probably should.
all the
You
time.
got another
I got
story?
one last
All right,
one.
let's do it.
One last one.
Let's do it.
So there's a man in Ohio going on a beer-only diet for Lent.
All right.
So Del Hall, who's from Ohio, from Dayton, Ohio, where Zach lives, is giving up all food and drinks except beer for Lent. He works for the 50 West Brewery in Dayton. He said he will not eat or drink anything except beer for 46 days. He said he was inspired by the monks from the 1600s because that's what they used to do during Lent.
They would just do beer?
Yes. A special kind of beer as well.
That has some protein
contains
in it.
a certain
I'm sure it's like
amount.
filling, but
Yeah.
they're not getting hammered every day.
No,
They're drinking
no.
like 3
It's a
beers
bread
a day.
with a beer with like meat in it.
Yeah, so
Like a farmhouse beer or saison.
he's documenting all this on YouTube, and you can see him right now. And he's already losing weight, apparently.
Yeah, of course you are.
That's
because
pretty
you're,
cool.
you're not it's just calories in, calories out. But he has to be. There's certain things that you need. But you could put in beer or take a pill of vitamin and you'd be fine. You could live off beer.
It's only 46 days, too.
Yeah,
You're not doing it
yeah.
forever.
I could go 46 days without eating anything, and I'll be skinny. But
You're already losing
I'll
weight.
live.
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
losing
you
extreme
have
weight.
cancer now or something?
It's
like,
like
what's
that
happening
nervous-
with us? We need a plan B.
Are you losing a lot of weight?
Yeah, and I think it's because of the Adderall. Like,
you're moving all the time.
I went to the I went to the my trainer on Tuesday and I weighed like 195, and then yesterday I was weighing 192.
All right,
and I was like, whoa, that's like it happened
nothing.
faster. I know, but when does it stop? We'll see.
I told you you'll get it all back over the weekend.
I know.
Why did you do that?
You had a freak out.
you didn't hear that? You were like,
It's fucking amphetamine. It's half of the methamphetamine.
do you like the feeling?
I don't feel it anymore. Like when I take
that's
it.
when you need to up it.
No, don't tell him that.
Why not? He's my friend.
That's when
Chase
you
the
get
dragon,
addicted.
You
I
want
started
to talk
researching.
about what you gave Maisie?
What did I give her?
The beer?
Oh, yeah, I gave her a
It
Heineken.
ties in with the beer
I gave her
diet.
a Heineken Zero.
Did she love it? Did she?
No,
did
she
just
wanted
kill it?
she wanted
She's
to
like,
try
give me another
it.
one, Dad.
She wanted to try it, and I said, sure, you can try it.
Yeah.
Because there's no, Tom told me this. He's like, it's fine. There's no alcohol in
My
it.
dad, when I was on long road trips, he'd drive with a Bud Regular in the cup holder to Disney World, and while he was driving, and I'd be like, "I'm thirsty." He'd be like, "Take a sip." I mean, that's what I like. That's how kids in the '80s grew up.
Yeah, man.
Now it's a snowflake. You
Mine
jump on a
was Busch
Pelican.
Light.
Everybody
Yeah.
is
She thought it
arresting
was
you.
disgusting. Mine was Bud Heavy. Yeah, Bud Regular.
Busch.
Yeah.
If I told my pop-up someone's getting arrested for fucking with a Pelican, no.
Oh, look at the people. My God, this is like an epidemic. The whole chat room's just like, my dad gave me screwdrivers. My dad gave me Bud Regular. My dad gave me Bud Light.
That's
Like,
not right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we grew up
apparently
different.
it fuels the nation.
Did she like the beer?
No.
No.
She said, that's disgusting.
Oh, you got to give her a few more.
Oh,
She'll
wait,
like it
she
after a
doesn't. She
while.
can't say disgusting. She goes, "That's disgusting."
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah, time. It's time.
Samantha, plug your podcast.
Semanticspodcast.com. If you want to come hang out with me at my sponsor, we're going to be at McGinty's Irish Pub on Sunday for St. Patrick's Day.
Cool.
Try the breakfast shot.
Oh, it's
and
delicious.
Also try. What did I eat there? I had a sandwich. What
They
did?
got, they got tons of
what was the sandwich I had
Irish
there?
Reuben? Maybe?
No,
Is
it was a
McGinty's
special.
downtown?
It was the roast.
South of downtown.
The French dippy thingy.
Was it
French
a French
dip?
dip?
No, but it wasn't like really a French dip. It was like horse. Like just get the
Yeah,
roast
anyway.
beef sandwich. It's
What
Also,
am I
I'll
gonna
be
do
at
with
Vanberry's
semantics?
tonight for Melodic Descent. My husband's band will be playing at Vanberry's tonight. If you want to come see that.
That's a nice little.
When do you want to come on my show?
I don't know. When I've never been invited.
No. No. Wow.
You never told me like, hey, show up at this date.
I'm gonna get him.
Are you gonna
I'm
get
saying, are you
really
just
drunk like I did and slur and yell, and then
That's
your
the
husband's
plan.
like, "That we can't. We can't put this out. It's a horrible podcast."
Literally, my husband the next day was like, Samantha, between you and Dan going back and forth, I couldn't even talk, so I just let you guys
We
go.
get super drunk and ghetto. She gets real ghetto, and I get like really slurry. I'm like, ain't you right? Ain't you right?
That sounds fun.
It's a good time.
It was an amazing time. I only got
Should probably Uber there.
I only got bit one time by her dog. It was great.
You gotta wear regular shoes when you come over.
You gotta wear shoes when you come over. He'll eat your toes.
The dog? I thought you pointed at him.
No,
He's
dude.
there?
Dude, the dog.
He's there too. I just have him come
They
over.
have a man that lays on their carpet and eats your toes.
What are you doing?
I got a book signing coming up. Over
Oh, wow. Way to strike when the iron's hot.
I know. Yeah. Quantum Leap Winery.
Oh, that's a good little spot.
Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
that
Right
at?
behind Pink Floyd.
Yep, right behind Pink Floyd. Next, the 27th. Whatever. That's a Wednesday at night.
Have you ever gone to one of these book signings and like nobody's there? Then you're
I'm
like,
pretty
sad?
much assuming nobody's going to be at this one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
so that's
we'll
fine.
see.
When is it?
The 27th.
Yeah, nobody will be
Wednesday.
there.
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's 6 a.m.
For God. All right.
Hot cup of Joe and a boring book.
Thank you to all to our new BDMs. Apparently 87 of them signed up Wednesday. Welcome to you guys.
80 of those are me. Happy birthday.
I'm like you. I don't believe there's something fucked up.
They'll unsubscribe after next month.
Like 80, like maybe 20, I'd be like, whoa, 80?
Yeah, that seemed way
Maybe
too
all
much.
those Ryan Cabrera fans
I mean,
are like, they got it going on.
How is
over
it
there.
possible we could double our BDMs in 1 week? It's weird.
So, we'll be going on the last cruise next year, Tom and Dan Cruise 2020. We're going to be doing a BDM only event coming up at the end of April. All BDMs will be emailed invites personally. So if you want to sign up before that, you'll get the invite.
You got 87 more that are going to be there.
I know.
If you have a video or a story that you need told,
Come to me.
John Busdecker would be your guy. What's the easiest way for people to find you?
They can email me, John, or
Just John. Just type into your browser. Just type in JON.
Yeah, then
You're
email.
good to go.
You can find me online. Just Google me. You'll find me.
John Busdecker.
John.email.
Yeah.
Go check out EJ's wife's MyCon tomorrow at Sand Lake and I Drive at the Wyndham on International.
What is MyCon? What is that?
She came up with her own con, and it's called
It
MyCon.
sounds like a con.
How dare you. It's legitimate, Buster. $5.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Yeah, and they're going to be doing some speaking, and EJ will be there, and there's some contests.
What is EJ's panel? What's the name of your panel, EJ?
Nerd joke?
Yeah. Pre-diabetic college football.
I played football.
I'm joking.
I played football, and now I look like Captain Kangaroo's grandson.
Catch Pokemon.
All right. Guys, we appreciate everybody out there that listens to us, and we will see you next week.
Yes, sir. Bye. Twitch, love you guys. EJ, everybody. Juan, thank you guys so much. We will see you Monday. Have a great weekend, guys. Stay safe. Bye.